And welcome to Vernon as we get set for the Canadian Direct Insurance BC Men's Curling Championship Final. It's the Neil Dangerfield rink of Victoria versus the Jim Cotter rink of Vernon. Welcome inside. I'm Jim Mullen. She's Melissa Soligo, and he is Jody Epp, and we are going to bring you today's final. And let's see how these two teams made it to this final. First of all, for Team Cotter, they took the long way there, losing to the Dangerfield rink in the 1-2 game, but then eliminating defending BC champion Jeff Richard. As for Team Dangerfield, they've had that extra day off after winning the Page 1-2. Melissa, Jim Cotter and his rink absolutely on fire last night. They really got their mojo back.
They did. The team overall played 91%. Jim himself played 92%. You can't ask for anything more than that. They really want to come out firing again this morning. They've been playing really well all week. They're at the top of the standings positional-wise, and they need a huge game today, keeping their emotions in check, and they hope to do that.
The fourth member of our crew, and I'm not sure if that makes him a skip or a lead, Joey Kenward caught up with Jim Cotter.
Jim, every member of your team last night in the semifinal curls over with a 90% success rating. How important was that on such an important matchup against a defending BC champ like Jeff Richard?
Well, it's very important. You know, you want to be bringing your top game at the definitely at the end of the week, so it was definitely important against a strong team like Jeff.
You're taking on an experienced curling team from Vancouver Island today who hasn't been in this situation before. Your group has. Do you draw on the experience going into today's final, which you've had here a few years ago?
I think you always draw upon your past experiences and stuff like that. We've been fortunate enough to be, you know, played in some big games before, so we will draw on those experiences. And having a guy like Rick Folk as our coach is also a huge asset to us as well.
Is there a specific strategy your team takes into today? Do you be patient early on? Do you go aggressively in the first few ends, or do you just throw strategy out the window and let the rocks fall where they may?
Well, we're just going to stick to our game plan. What got us here, you got to stick to your game plan, and we're just going to go with that.
Jim, thanks for this. Good luck today.
All right, thanks, Joey.
Jody, as for this Neil Dangerfield rink, statistically not really there, but they're in the final.
Well, absolutely, Jim. That's the whole factor. They made it here today because they played together as a team and they worked really hard through the week. They had some breaks that went their way. They got a couple of big ends when they needed to, and they're in the final tonight. The biggest thing is nerves. This is their first provincial final that any of them have played in. It's really going to come down to how they handle the stress of it all and if they can stay in the game.
Joey Kenward caught up with the skip from Victoria.
Neil, a first opportunity for you to be here in a provincial championship. A long time coming for your rink from Victoria, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sure is, yeah. I've never been here myself. My third's been a couple times to some semifinals in Alberta, but this is certainly the best we've ever done.
Talk about how confident your team is going into the final after putting up some pretty impressive scores during the round robin this week.
Well, I think we're confident we're going to curl a good game today. Obviously, Jim Cotter's rink had a lights-out game last night, and there's nothing short of a 90% from us that's going to, you know, keep us in that. But we're going to do our best to mix it up and put a lot of rocks in play and hopefully put some pressure on them.
You were able to beat Jim in the 1-2 Page final. How important was it for your group that's probably got a lot more years of curling under your belt to have that day off in preparing physically and mentally for today's finale?
Well, I think it was great to have the day off. I think our, sweepers were getting a little worn out after 11 games or 10 games, and having one extra day to recover was a big plus. At the same time, I was excited to see the semifinal game there on TV, and wanted to actually be on the ice during that. So, we're really looking forward to this, but hopefully the day off doesn't hurt.
Neil, thanks for this. Congratulations on getting to the final. Good luck today here in Vernon.
Thank you very much.
When we come back, will Dangerfield get respect, or will Cotter be welcomed back to his hometown? We'll have the final on Shaw after this.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Williams Moving and Storage. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Tim Hortons.
Mary Dobbin has been curling for 3 weeks. She has never really been accurate. But on the last rock of the last end of her Monday Night Women's League, she makes her first raise to the button on purpose. Yeah, that's right. She called it, she made it. And today, for this one moment, Mary Bullseye Dobbin feels like a pro. What will your great moment be?
WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Watch Friday, February 18th, when the Seattle Thunderbirds look to keep the playoff drive alive as they hit the I-5 North for a clash with the Vancouver Giants. WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
And welcome back to Vernon. There is your pairing in the final for the Canadian Direct Insurance BC Men's Curling Championship. Melissa, I'll ask you first. Is this truly a matchup of David versus Goliath?
Put me on the spot, why don't you, Jim, right off the bat?
Seeing if you're paying attention.
I'm trying to. You know, it's a matter of experience versus a team that does not have a lot of experience in this particular situation. As Neil has pointed out a few times, they have played a ton of games over the years. They've worked pretty hard to get where they are right now, and you know, they've been playing well. There's no doubt about that, and they won the 1-2 game, which was the crucial game to get them to this final. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know, but you know, it is experience versus rookie, and that's what I'll leave it at.
Is this experience versus nerves, Jody?
Yeah, that's exactly what this is going to be. The Cotter team has played in a few finals this year. They've obviously been in a couple of provincial finals before. So it's going to come down to they're going to be a little more comfortable out there. But with that being said, talking to some of the fans before the game about Rick's semifinal loss last year, they were really upset with that game. They were really disappointed with losing after going undefeated through the round robin. So by losing that game on Friday night, might have brought some of those feelings back a little bit. So they're going to be a little stressed out there. They're going to want to try and make their shots really well, but they're also going to be thinking, because there's a lot more expectation that they have than maybe Neil Dangerfield's team. They expect to go into this final and win based on the amount of time and effort they put into it this year. So, you know, there's a lot of pressure on them as well, and here it is evident right after the first rock. I mean, you know, Rick Sawatsky uncharacteristically throws his first one to the back of the 12-foot. I mean, he curled 92% last night.
Yeah, we don't see that very often, for sure. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. You know, I think Jim Cotter's team wanted to play this end pretty open, and by that rock of Rick's slipping to the back 12, that's not going to happen, because we heard Neil say, you know, they like to go after teams, and they like to go after teams right away, so he's going to throw up the corner guard. But it is about keeping your emotions in check, and both teams need to do that. I think Team Cotter has a lot of extra pressure on them. This is their home club. They've been in this situation before. They're expecting to win. Maybe the fans are expecting them to win. But Neil Dangerfield isn't going to back down. They're going to come with everything they've got today and throw it at the Cotter team.
Where is it? Mine's good. Well, be there.
Rick Sawatsky perhaps getting his nerves out of the way on that first stone.
Just for weight, Rube. Line's real good. Still room. Still room.
So sometimes the easiest way to defend against a corner guard is to actually come around and be first in. And that's what Jim Cotter is doing here. He's asked for the rock around the corner guard. And it looks like we're going to have some rocks in play right off the bat.
Sitting nicely atop the 8-foot, well above the tee line. Glenn Allen with his second shot. Allen dedicating this run at the BCs to his grandmother Bernice, who passed away. She was a lifetime curler. So he's carrying a Cary Park Curling Club pin in his pocket to remember her from all the days that he curled there.
That's a nice shot by Glenn. Nice control weight. Just enough. You couldn't see very much of that rock, but we've seen the way the ice curls, and he threw that really well and just tapped it out.
Just solid bump. Clean. Yep.
Time for the second Kevin Foltz. who curled 94% last night. He was completely on fire.
Roll it, roll it.
Oh yeah, Kevin played really well. He was throwing peels like they were going at a style. He was making everything, and that really helped him carry the entire team through the game. He was just rock solid at second position.
Control. Yeah.
So we've talked about the ice here all week. It has been totally amazing. It is curling anywhere from 5 to 6 feet from outside in, inside out, maybe a little bit less, maybe around the 4 to 4.5. You can throw, if a rock's fully buried, you can almost throw half weight or backline weight to get it out. And I've heard nothing but just praise about the ice here.
Drag. Okay.
With the up weight, though, the line's been fairly straight on this ice, hasn't it? It's swung with the draw weight. But when there's been some smoke on these rocks, they've been fairly straight, haven't they been?
The players have been talking about it a little bit, and they talked about it. I talked to Rick this morning, and he said that in the 1-2 game, definitely the big weight ran a little straighter and didn't get the finish they had seen all week. However, in the game last night in the semifinal, we were seeing it move and finish a little bit at the end. So it seems like they've got it back on track to what it was during the week.
Second, Darren Bowden with his second shot.
Forward. Easy. Clean. Clean. Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
That gets a pretty good flop to the top of the 12.
That's a great shot by Darren. Talk about having your emotions in check. He made a perfect hit and roll. You can only see, I don't know, even less than a third of a rock, I think, from my vantage point.
Like that? Sure.
Yeah, nice throw by Darren. You can see about a quarter of it.
Intern.
They're looking to throw the peel weight run back double here.
It's Ken Maskowicz from the Royal City Curling Club. Nice to see some Lower Mainland representation here.
Hard! That one's curling quite a bit on him.
Good throw.
Oh,
good.
missed it.
Good. Right there. Shot, Ken.
That was a good throw by Ken. It really curled on him, actually, with that kind of peel weight that he threw, but he did manage to get his shooter to roll over towards the center line and actually cover that rock that's back 12 that Rick Sawatsky had thrown on his first one. This does give Team Dangerfield, however, an opportunity to bury behind there and actually have that protector, that yellow rock behind this blue rock if Dennis can sink this one.
First shot for the third, Dennis Sutton, who's ranked 8th when it comes to thirds in this tournament.
We'll really get to see how much the ice is curling here. They took the edge of the 12-foot for this draw, and look at it go there. It's really starting to bust.
Hurry it. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, come on, it's going too far.
How much will he get to bury this one?
Nice shot. That one's totally buried.
Yeah, it just shows about 6 feet of curl there on that rock because they were way out there.
And from hog to hog, we saw the rocks running somewhere between 14 and a bit, maybe almost 14.5. But with the amount of curl on this ice, you do have to make sure you have a little bit extra weight just to allow the brushers some room to carry the rocks.
Hard. No roll. Sit. Whoa.
That is a nice roll. It's going to be a little exposed on the backside, though.
Yeah, it just rolled a little too far. You can see almost 7/8 of that rock.
Like half? Board weight. Okay.
And rotation is a really important factor on ice like this. If you throw any type of soft rotation, it'll really take off on you. So it's important. And both these teams throw a lot of rotation on their hits and on their draws, which really helps control the curl. It makes it more predictable. This is way out there. He's really kind of throwing this little in-out. So it'll depend on how the weight is as to whether it'll come over enough.
Come on! Sorry, Dan.
Wow, that is amazing. That took off on him. He had tons of room on that. And really good weight, maybe hack to even almost a little more than hack. But they didn't sweep it till about 3/4 down, and even though this is great brushing ice, if you leave it, as Jody just pointed out, the amount that it curls, if you leave it too long, once it hits the breaking point and starts to curl, the brushers really don't have a lot to do with what goes on. You cannot stop it from curling.
No, exactly.
There.
Wow.
That's good pass. That looks good. You know,
So now Jim Cotter has a chance to throw this wide out turn draw. They just saw Dennis Sutton throw and try and come down and freeze right on top of his own rock there and really, you know, turn the tides of this end.
We come down, bump it a hair is fine. Yeah. We're just draw in there.
Need full 8 foot per second?
Yes.
So here he's just trying to play the draw and corner freeze onto his own rock.
Jim Cotter with the first of the skip stones.
You're all there. Bumping. Clean. Clean it. Bumping. Clean it. Clean it.
Back forward.
Whoa then. Whoa. Yep.
It's out in that same area, so the question is, how
Clean.
much
Yep.
swing will there be at the end of this?
Yep.
Line looks great, Jim.
Yep.
Just nice and inside on that,
Shot.
too.
Nice little bump. Great shot by Jim Cotter. Looks
Sweet,
like
Beauty.
he started off just the same way as he finished last night.
Should be able to stick around.
Yeah, that was a great shot. And
Just...
you saw the brushers, the front end of Team Cotter, actually stay on that rock the whole way. They were sort of hard cleaning it all the way down so that if it decided to take off and hit that breaking point, they were ready to go. So both teams are going to have to be very aware of the breaking point on this ice surface.
So what's there?
Now, Neil Dangerfield was curling 75% overall in this tournament, but you know what? If you look at his last 4 games, he's been curling 90%, and that's the major reason that he's here in this final.
Neil has had a great last 4 games, and he has played so well, and that's what you want to do. Obviously, you want to peak at the right time, and he's peaking at exactly the right time the last half of this event, and he hopes to carry on those numbers again today.
A big shot right off the bat for Neil. He's playing about a 3/4 rock run back double. He wants to hit just 3/4 of the blue rock onto the yellows, and hopefully he can double those 2 out while sticking his shooter somewhere in the rings.
Clean. Whoa. 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 Close down. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Right off, Glenn.
Needs to curl up a little more.
1, 2, 3. That is a nice shot.
Lovely shot.
Yeah, very nice shot by Neil to get his team out of trouble.
Here's the replay of it. They were just on and off it the whole way. Nice control weight, not too much. And just finishes at the very end there to move those Yellowstones around. One of them did stick. He was hoping to get rid of both of them.
Trying to think just to stick the shooter. I don't think that would have gone any further.
No, I'm saying. The double was there almost wherever. As long as we stuck around, yeah. Just had to curl another inch.
Yeah.
Nice throw though. Good start to the final for Neil. Got his team out of trouble, and now he's looking. Jim Cotter's just looking to hit and stick and give Neil a shot against 3, but he'll have the whole 8 foot to draw to.
Good start for the fans, too. Plenty of action in the rings in the first end.
Clean, yep. Clean. Clean.
Yeah, he's throwing regular weight on this. If he loses a shooter, that's not the end of the world for Jim. Make sure he just makes a boom and go away.
Oh, Jim, you throw it.
Up the back it goes.
So Neil made a good one on his first one, and this is a nice pressure shot here for him as well. He just needs to hit 8 foot, but a big draw for him in the first end against 2 yellow Cotter stones.
I was taking lots of ice. He should have a backing on this if he throws it a little heavy. It should curl all the way. Now, we did get 10 minutes of practice before the game, so this should be, the drawway is the same as it was in the practice. This should be pretty straightforward.
Key here is throw it to your brushers. Let them do the work.
Clean it. Clean it.
Where is it, guys?
Fairly straightforward for the Dangerfield rink to score 1 here.
Line's great.
Can't hurt it, I don't think. It's not heavy.
Full 4, guys.
It's not heavy. Get it on the button. What do you think? Well. Watch the back again. It's all right. It's there. Attaboy, Neil. One blue.
And in it goes for 1. So the Dangerfield rink will open with 1 and surrender the hammer. You're watching the Canadian Direct Insurance BC Men's Curling Championship Final from Vernon, and you're watching it on Shaw.
In January 2012, the most unique curling event in the world is coming to Langley, BC. The World Financial Group Continental Cup.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Duncan B. Lodge. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Best Western. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Jet Ice. We bring ice to life. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings.
WHL hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Don't miss the excitement when the Seattle Thunderbirds look to keep the playoff drive alive as they hit the I-5 North for a clash with the Vancouver Giants. Tune in Friday, February 18th, 7:30 Pacific, 8:30 Mountain for great junior hockey action. The Western Hockey League, building the world's finest talent. WHL hockey, only on Shaw.
Was some action in the rings in the first end as the Dangerfield rink scores one, Melissa.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a miscue on Dennis's second shot, and a great shot by Neil Dangerfield to get his team out of trouble there. And an opportunity here for a straight draw against two Yellowstones. Makes no mistake, back apron and gets a single point.
So the Cotter rink gets the hammer in the second.
So Jim Cotter's team talked about it at the break that they were happy with what happened. Their goal was to try and force the one so that they would get the hammer back, and that's exactly what they've done.
One knows it. Okay.
And we've heard Neil talk about how he likes to have rocks in play. He actually wanted this rock from Glen Ellen just to be short of the rings. It does slip in, and that gives the opportunity to Team Cotter to remove it from play. But even in the second end, first end, they went for it right away, throwing the corner guard. Second end, they were going to throw the center guard. So I think we're going to keep trying to see here lots of rocks in play. If Neil gets his way, that is.
Clean. No way, big Kevin.
Time for
good shot.
Rick Sawatsky to poke it away, and
just beside
there is a guard.
Yeah, Neil will keep playing here. He'll keep throwing guards and trying to mix it up.
Glen Allen, who curled in Hokkaido for 2 years.
Get her tight. Line's really good. Line's great, guys. Have a look, Dennis. Whoa.
So they were just trying to put this rock beside it.
No bump is fine.
And that's fine. They'll be happy with that.
Throw Glenn.
Neil's main objective is to try and keep the rocks in amongst the center line and try and pile rocks around the forefoot.
Split.
To give himself the opportunity to possibly force for one or try and get a steal.
T-line back four-ish.
And Jim Cotter's goal is to try and spread the house out so that he leaves the forefoot open and give himself a chance to score 2 or 3 by getting rocks on as far reaches as possible. That's why he's calling Rick to throw a split here. Wants to throw a back 8 weight, hit about a quarter of a rock, and try and get the rock to each side of the 12 foot.
Yep. Hard. Well, you can.
A much more difficult shot than normal with the amount that it curls. You really have to anticipate the curl and get on it early.
Starting to move now.
That's exactly what they did. They were on it really early.
Good
And then actually had to wait for it to make the break. But nice throw by Rick Sawatsky. Nice call by Jim.
Yeah, nice little split, both of them at the top of the 12.
That accomplishes two things. One, it gets the rocks in the rings, but also it removes the guard, which is what Jim wants to do. They got in a little trouble in the 1-2 game by giving up a couple of steals, which eventually ended up giving up a steal of 1 in the 10th when they lost. So he wants to try to eliminate the rocks in front and keep the play in the rings.
Hurry on, guys. Come on. Come on. All the way. All the way. Okay, Darren.
Darren got that going a little bit.
Rolls the shooter away.
What are we thinking for weight here, Swat?
That's fine. T9 back.
As we talked about, the release is really important in this game and on this type of ice.
Bit of a chance here,
if you throw it soft at all, it's really going to curl.
And I think Darren did throw that one a little bit soft right out of his hand. Neil called him on. So an opportunity here for Team Cotter to split the rings, keep these yellow rocks as far apart as possible.
Take a look.
Looks like it's got way too much on it.
Yeah, this one's got a ton of weight on it. Not sure that one's going to stop.
It's really starting to curl now.
Yeah, it is.
Good
shot,
just put the brakes on at the end there with that swing. It looked like it was going through the house.
Into it.
Almost ran out of
3
rings.
feet out,
Let's just run the blue one into it. Just build in the center line.
Well, you can't just nose that.
We do that, though, we roll our rock behind it. Just as easy as hitting the yellow one.
Okay. Normal, Darren.
Normal?
Yeah.
So Darren just being asked to throw the run back here, try and stick the shooter, let it roll behind the guard, the rock that he's just throwing.
Yep.
Much cleaner release on that throw.
Come on! Hard! Whoa! Sorry. Get her.
That was just a bit of a miscall there, I think, by Neil Dangerfield. They had him, this brusher sweeping that, but actually it needed to curl up a lot more.
Yeah, I think he was trying to anticipate the curl. There's a big difference between going from the center line out versus outside in.
Exactly.
And I think he got fooled a little bit on how much that was actually going to finish at the end there. So, unfortunately, he managed to make the run back, but didn't stick the shooter the way he was hoping.
Clean.
Now Kevin can come down, hit this on the nose, and leave the Cotter ring sitting too.
Yeah, this one's actually running exactly the same way that Darren's did. Pretty straight there. To wait forever for that to finish.
What?
Okay.
Back and jams a bit.
Yeah, big roll there. Unfortunately, he's kind of left those two staggered, and a pretty good chance at a double here for Dennis Sutton now.
Normal.
Dennis Sutton, who listed one of his achievements as playing in the 1974 Crestwood Curlicar car spiel. 1974, was it a Vega, a Pinto, or a Gremlin he was playing for?
Oh, clean, just clean. Whoa, you can, whoa. Wow.
You notice neither of us are saying anything, Jim.
Yeah,
I dated myself once again, didn't I?
Yeah, well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
You're asking me what kind of car was in 1974. I was 1 year old in 1974.
Could have been a Pacer or a Matador, I suppose.
They had cars back then?
That's right. They were drawn by horses.
So Team Dangerfield actually ended up jamming the two yellow stones. So one has hung back in the back 12. Opportunity here for Ken Maskowitz.
Yep. Gotta go.
This one's curling a ton out of his hand.
Hard. Hard, Rick. Okay.
So got the jam, but actually got a fortunate roll there.
So we'll have to just keep an eye on those two spots from center line out on both sides. One kind of ran a little bit straighter. The other one, this last one, curled a lot more.
Didn't do a lot.
And just listening to Jim, it sounds like the weights were okay, but definitely a difference in the amount of curl. So it could be simply due to release or simply due to ice conditions.
Whoa. No, right off.
Dennis really kind of spun this out a little bit on his release. And it seems to be running really straight.
Yeah, not going to move. Wow. It's going to go right through the back of the house.
It looks like he slid pretty good, but just at the end there, he just kind of rotated his wrist out a little bit, which caused it to run a lot straighter than we'd seen. Also, we're going a little bit further out there. Here's the release here. Just right at the end there, it is just a little spin out. And you can see with his fingers, he was like, uh-oh.
6-7.
And then you can see in his face that he is not too impressed with how that's coming down the ice.
Yeah, there was no fixing it on the release, was there?
No.
So a bit of a momentum swing here now. We've seen it back and forth this end, actually, and Ken Maskwich is going to make no mistake in trying to split the rings with his second stone.
Shot, Ken. Good sweep, guys.
Very nice shot by Ken there.
Rush, guys.
And keeps it above T-line.
Now this is Ken's third shot at third final here that he's been in. So looking to try and play well and help his team make it to the Briar.
The Briar in London, Ontario, March 5th through 13th.
So Neil really in a situation where he's just trying to hit and roll somewhere into the middle, hoping for a bit of a half shot by Jim Cotter. He could possibly set up a double opportunity, but those two are pretty much even, which is really going to make it tough to try and not give up a deuce here.
Yeah, they're pretty much in perfect position right now to get your deuce.
First of the skip stones for Neil Dangerfield, the lab tech for Fisheries and Oceans Canada.
Yeah. Clean. Yeah.
We want to nose it.
Nice shot by Neil.
Well thrown nose hit. No mistake.
Good ice.
Jim Cotter's going to look to do exactly the same thing. Can even afford to maybe roll a little bit away from the 4-foot area.
It's pretty solid on his. I'll keep mine up a bit. Yeah.
This is certainly Jim's strength, is the hit game. So
yeah, reg up a bit.
he was certainly making most of his hits last night.
Yep. Clean. Clean. Roll. Roll. Clean. Clean. Yep. Clean. Yep. Yep. Right.
Very nice throw, a nice controlled weight.
And it sits right down there, too.
Now, there is a double there.
You want to try it? Do you think it's not?
At least try and roll over that. I mean,
Sure.
Put it in a different spot. Yeah. I'll throw bigger, so.
So what, less?
Yeah, less ice.
So he's tightened up the ice a little bit. It is a fairly flat double. He's going to have to throw this pretty hard. However, with the way that, with how quick the houses are and the way these rocks are bouncing off, it is makeable, but certainly a very difficult shot. His main goal is to try and hit and roll to a different spot and at least give Jim a slightly different look and a slightly different rock to throw at. He'd be happy with that, but it's looking like a 2 right now, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Neil Dangerfield with his last shot, looking for the double. They've given up on this one.
Yeah, Neil knew right away. He's definitely made contact with the stone, which is his first objective. He would have liked to roll towards the center or towards that second stone even for the double, but opportunity here for now for Jim Cotter to find some draw weight. Just has to hit paint, it looks like, to get his second point.
Yeah, again, we talked about the release, and that was what that was right there. He slid really good right at the stick. Just as he was adding a little extra weight on that, he just put it out just slightly and then ran a little bit straighter.
Keep moves on it.
So we talked about how straight it runs with that extra weight, Jim. So you also have to make sure that when you are adding that extra weight that you're actually not playing with the handle and releasing on an out path, because if you do, that's exactly what will happen. It will not finish for you at all.
Yeah, the push really changes the line, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Final shot of the second end. Jim Cotter looking for a deuce.
Should be there.
They're just cleaning this. Rick hasn't laid a brim to it yet. They really want this to catch the curl to slow it down, and looks like it's going to be just fine.
Rick took a vacation on that one.
You could have won a car with that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So it's a deuce for Jim Cotter. He takes the lead and surrenders the hammer in the BC Men's Curling Championship from Vernon.
Buddies, proud supporter of women's curling for 30 years.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Tim Hortons. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Flight Center, unbeatable. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Cal Tire, true service, suppliers of Firestone Farm Tires, the leader in the field. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings.
Championship Curling is on Shaw. Catch the final of the 2011 Boston Pizza Cup. From High River, Alberta, the best men's curlers of Alberta are set to battle it out with a spot in the Nationals on the line. Tune in Sunday, February 13th at 7:30 p.m. Mountain to see the men battle it out for the Provincial Curling Crown.
We're there to bring it home. Shaw TV, your local voice.
Well, the roster is practically set for the Tim Hortons Brier, March 5th through 13th in London, Ontario. For those of you watching earlier, you saw Jeff Stoughton win in Manitoba. And following our broadcast at 6:30 Pacific time, you'll see Kevin Cooey versus Kevin Martin, and that is the dream matchup that they were looking for in Alberta.
You're all there, guys. Call for. Have a look. Losing line.
So, Jody, we were talking before this match, and you said the perfect scenario for the Cotter rink was to strike surgically, hit two here, hit two there, just give up one. So far, so good for the hometown rink.
Yeah, the last deuce worked out really well for them. I mean, it was unfortunate that Dennis missed that open hit to create the opportunity for two, and then they executed quite nicely. They did end up with a corner guard, so there was a couple different options. They could have created a deuce, but you know that's what it's going to come down to is a miss here and a miss there. In the first end, we certainly saw that there's a couple slight misses here and there, which created a chance for or forced Neil to make a double on his first rock to kind of get his team into trouble. So yeah, Cotter rink has a game plan. They want to score two when they have the hammer and force one when they don't have the hammer, and you're going to see them continue to try and pile up the rocks in the 4-foot area.
Line's good.
And trying to control that 4-foot, and Neil's going to have to try to push the game to the side and try to create a deuce here.
Second shot for Rick Sawatsky.
That's clean.
It's very uncharacteristic of Rick Sawatsky. We saw him slip to the back 12 on his first one in a previous end, and here he slipped back 4-foot. And this one's at T-line, so just seems to not quite have his draw weight exactly where Jim Cotter would hope those rocks would land.
Neil has a couple options here. He can throw another corner guard, or he can come down and freeze to these. He's elected to play the hit and either hit it right in the nose or make the double. He's a little concerned. They're both right just around the button area, so feels he needs to deal with these.
And that first corner, I think, slipped in way too far. Very tight to the rings. Not the best corner for him. There's a nice shot, though.
Good shot by Glenn Allen.
Yeah, very nicely thrown.
That gets rid of the clutter.
Okay.
So Jim just asking for the nose hit here.
Yes, Ray. Clean. Yep. Yeah. Hard.
Just a little off center, gets a bit of a roll. Key thing is, it's ahead of the tee line.
Opportunity here now for Darren to hit and flop behind that blue corner guard.
I gotta go this way, Darren. Control. Control.
A little bit of a debate as to which turn to throw here, just because the center line could be a bit of a factor. Widow runs slightly straighter on the center line side.
Whoa. Nope. Okay. Okay, Darren, good throw.
Nice quiet way. It just seemed to hang there a little bit, and we'll have to watch that through the game if that continues to be a bit straighter.
To hair early.
I think we've seen a trend with the ice being fairly straight along the center line, haven't we?
I think so. And I was just thinking that too, Jim, that coming towards the glass, towards what we're seeing, it was a little bit straighter on that out turn on that side of the ice near the center line as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as the game progresses.
A little bit.
It's a nice shot by Kevin Folk.
And he rolls away a little bit.
So Neil again playing that center line turn.
Whoa.
Second shot for Darren Both.
Close. Yep. 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 Whoa. Whoa.
There's the roll they were looking for.
Nice throw, Darren.
Darren made a great hit and roll earlier, 2 ends ago too, in the same spot. Nice throw, nice shot.
He's got that buried too. We're right behind the hack here, and we can't see that other rock.
Yeah, that's as dead buried as it gets.
So run back here for Ken Maskwich.
This looks a lot like the first end.
It does.
Ken had the same run back in the first end, and it just over curled a little bit. So
Queen
looking to improve on the result of last time.
Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Curl.
Run back. Does he pop it out? Yes, he does.
Nice shot.
Crisp and clean.
Ken threw that one absolutely perfect.
It was on the nose almost the whole way down, and just in the last 5 feet, it just curled another inch or so, just enough to make the double. It does leave the guard out there, which here it is again. The sweepers are right off. They're on it just at the end as it starts to make its move. Just crosses the face a little bit and gets the double.
So there is a yellow guard, as Jody was just saying, that by nosing that, there's a couple of feet now before the ring, so a better opportunity here for the Dangerfield team to try and get around it.
Okay.
It's got lots of room on this one, lots of weight by the looks of it.
Dennis Sutton has struggled with his draw weight. 63% on in turns, 75% on out turns throughout this tournament.
Another costly miss there.
Want to go there? Yep.
Dennis has got to take a moment here and just kind of gather himself. He's getting a little frustrated. That's a couple of back-to-back misses for him. So he's really going to need to put those misses behind him and get into this game.
Yeah, Dennis needs to come up with a big shot on his next one for sure.
Should be okay. Should be okay.
He is a bit frustrated.
Line's good. Clean it.
He thinks he's throwing them all right.
We're
so
easy, guys. Easy.
Wait there.
Whoa, then. Whoa.
Sweepers are right off on this.
Yeah, take it back.
This one's sliding a whole bunch too, just like Dennis's did.
Yep.
All right. Quick there.
It's a little bit of excitement there.
I think the ice was good. I want a free draw again.
They're a little pumped up.
Well, this is a great chance for Dennis to get right back in this, make a huge freeze here, come around. If he doesn't freeze to the back one, he can absolutely bury it.
That's better. That's better.
Line's good.
Really good line.
Rushers are thinking the weight's much better on this one.
Just playing the straight draw here, Melissa. They're hoping to get it just in the top of the 8 foot
Line's
behind
great,
the guard.
Okay.
Line's great.
They don't need to freeze it. They can just dead bury
You got room
it.
now. You got room. Let it work a bit. Let it work.
Finish it. Finish it.
Go hard there now. Yep. Go hard. Right back.
Good.
Right back's fine. Come on. Out of sight. Come on. So guys.
Really nice rock.
Dennis.
And improvement on stone number 1 there.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. Like, we saw him standing back here after his first one, and he just, as Jody mentioned, took a couple seconds just to regather his thoughts. And I mean, that's what you have to do. You make a crucial mistake like his first one and come back with an excellent shot on the second one. So good for him.
Unfortunately, it did slide just behind the tee line, which allows Cotter to come down and freeze to it. But he really has to make this good. He can't afford to bounce off it at all. But it's going to come down and corner freeze to this blue, just like that. So Jim did have a free draw in his last one for 2, so he should be comfortable with draw weight. Just it seems a little bit quicker going this way, so we'll have to watch and see. It's important that he stays in front of it and doesn't bounce off.
Yeah, this is the fourth rock in this path, so they'll should know what the weight is.
See how Jim Cotter deals with this straight ice down the center line.
Lots of room on this one. Lots of room.
Yeah. Clean. Little bump. Clean that up.
Tons of room, tons of weight. Don't want to bounce off it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Jim there. They really couldn't afford to bounce.
In that case, could the sweepers have let off that, maybe let it finish more to get inside?
Well, I heard the brushers actually right away say that it was all there, probably a little bit of a bump, but there didn't seem to be the communication with Ken that he was actually sweeping for line, but it did get by the guard by plenty, and unfortunately it did bounce off with that extra weight. So opportunity here now for Neil.
Try to roll open side,
team.
guys.
Okay.
As long as you just give him a pocket to freeze.
Yeah. Wait.
Currently all the play behind the tee line there, not exactly what you want.
2/3 and roll away.
So Neil's just trying to come down here, remove that stone, and actually try and flop his shooter away a little bit if he can.
Come on!
Well, go the other way.
Roll the other way?
Yeah, whoa.
They wanted to roll away and not create a pocket, but it looks like it's going to hit it just on the nose.
Sweep.
Sorry, guys.
Rolls in a bit there. Both
Terrible. Not great.
deep.
Not terrible.
Yeah, they wanted to roll that away so they didn't create a pocket that Jim could freeze into.
Same weight, eh? I think so.
He does have a chance now if he moves that rock back just a foot. He can sit there, and it's going to be really tough to get it out.
Same line, pretty much same line, right? Yeah. About there. Okay.
So if he can come down and just with the same weight he just threw and just bump this blue rock back just about a foot, create a 2-rock wall in the back of the 8-foot there, and Neil Dangerfield a really tough time trying to get that out.
Pretty much same weight, guys.
Yeah. So we're just trying to chop the line a little bit, or what's
Just move it back a foot or two.
Yeah.
Now Jim had about probably back 8.
What'd you get there?
Good back 8 on his last one, so he wants to be careful with this one. He did say he wants to throw the same weight, but you don't want to overthrow it in this spot. We've seen it run fairly straight, so he's taking a little bit of extra ice. And just wants to give this one to his sweepers and let them take it that little extra foot or two.
Easy early.
Really off from last time.
Line's good. Room.
A really precise shot.
Lots of room.
Yeah. Freeze it. Yeah, you gotta go for line. Yeah.
Starting to move now.
Yeah.
This one's definitely lighter than his first.
Hard, boys. Hard, guys, hard. You got it.
Only drop it in the pocket.
Great shot.
That is absolutely perfect. What a great shot by Jim.
Same thing.
And great communication on that shot all around. Jim knew he threw a little bit lighter than his first. The brushers knew it. They went on it right away.
More than he threw.
We heard Ken say not too much too early, but with the weight, you had to go with it as much as you could, and he just makes a pistol.
I don't want to
Might have curled might have curled just a little bit too much.
Back 8 should be fine. It's got to be a quarter rock, eh?
Yeah, we're listening to Neil talk there. With the way that the ice curls, he can actually come to that one and tap it and perhaps get his deuce. It is there for the 2.
Quarter of a rock.
Yeah, he just needs to move it about
80. What do you think?
About 6 inches there, just off the 4-foot, and have a chance to score. Chance to score his 2.
How far we gotta move him?
A foot.
Okay.
So I think you're right, Joe. I think that one just curled a little bit too much for Team Cotter, but with that light weight, they were pounding it the whole way. So big shot here for Neil Dangerfield.
Dangerfield's looking for 2 here. There's not a lot of room for error.
Where? Yep, just there. Go hard then. Hard. Perfect.
Sounds like they gotta go for weight.
Push hard. Come on. Come on.
It was just a little tight. They really got to sweep this one.
Come on.
Weight's good.
Whoa.
Easily by. Going to catch a piece of the
Nice
yellow
brushing.
and
2.
hang
Nice
around
shot.
for 2. They get the
Great
deuce.
shot.
Neil.
Great shot and great line call. Very well done.
So Neil Dangerfield gets 2, gives up the hammer to Cotter, and takes the lead 3-2 at the BC Men's Curling Championships here in Vernon.
In January 2012, the most unique curling event in the world is coming to Langley, BC. The World Financial Group Continental Cup.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Duncan B. Lodge. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Best Western. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Williams Moving and Storage. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings.
Now playing on Shaw Video On Demand.
I need to do something substantial in order to get the attention of the clubs. Why? Because they're exclusive and fun, and they lead to a better life.
People want to go on the internet and check out their friends, so why not build a website that offers that friends, pictures, profiles?
I'm talking about taking the entire social experience of college and putting it online.
Site got 2,200 hits within 2 hours.
22,000.
And welcome back to Vernon as we get set for the 4th end of play with the Neil Dangerfield rink, leading Jim Cotter by a score of 3-2. You know, Neil Dangerfield said after the win on Friday that he was stunned to be in this position of getting the day off and going into the final after that last shot. I don't think he's stunned anymore. I think his head's right into this game.
No, he slid out really well. He had to make a quiet little tap back. Jim Cotter's rock just curled a little bit more than they were hoping, and he didn't quite bump it back as far as well. He was a little light, so left Neil a chance for a little chip and lie for 2. Threw it really well, and the sweepers called the weight to Dennis Sutton right away, and they were able to sweep it the whole way and make a perfect tap. So get a nice deuce back after giving up 2 in the second. So yeah, I think you're right, Jim. I think these guys are right on track.
And it's good to see the communication there with the front end sweepers after some breakdowns earlier on, Melissa.
Yeah, there was a few mistakes for sure in communication, and that was a great communication. I mean, you needed to talk on that one. Neil actually thought he threw a little bit less than he did, just T-line weight, but the brushers took it the whole way, communicated with Dennis the whole way, and made it absolutely perfect.
Second shot for Glenn Allen of the Dangerfield rink.
So after that, too, Jim Cotter talked to their team. They're going to start going after a little more, and that's through a corner guard on their first rock.
Just rub it anyway. Gotta rub it. Just rub it a little. That's good. Okay.
We're definitely going to see some more rocks in play here.
Go here. Could go this way.
Okay.
You like that?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So here we are. Jim Cotter going right after it now. Going to utilize these two center guards with a corner guard over on the side. He's asking Rick Sawalski to come around the two Dangerfield rocks in the center.
Go heavy. Line's good.
Seems like it's got a lot of weight.
Hold on.
Lead it.
Lots of room.
Yep.
Starting to break
No
down,
room.
though.
Just for weight. Room.
Lots of room. Just top 8.
Here it comes. Yep.
Oh, that finished nicely.
Shot.
Good boy. Oh yeah, it goes absolutely sideways in there. That rock was aiming for the sideboards about 3/4 of the way down, and then once it caught the edge and started curling, it came in there really nice. It looks like Rick has got his draw weight back, and he had a little trouble in the first couple ends, but now he made those two rocks perfectly.
Good read of the ice.
Yeah, those are the shots definitely that Jim Cotter's expecting of Rick Sawalski to make all the time.
Whoa.
So now looking for the run back from Darren. He's made some great hits so far in this game.
Splits it away, leaves the yellow sitting there.
And a couple decisions for Jim Cotter here. He can play another center guard and guard his rock in the top of the 8-foot, or he can play the draw around the corner guard he put up there earlier. That's what he's decided to do.
Yeah, it'll slide real good for you, Kev. Low 90s.
So we just watched where the broom is on this particular shot. As Jody mentioned on the previous one that Rick just threw, it was almost edge of 12, like edge of the house, or edge of the sheet of ice practically to make this. This one not so much. There's a little bit less. We're near the center line now.
Just
maybe a little bit less curl than we're seeing from the outside end.
It's good.
Looks like it's there, guys. Yep. T-line. Line only. Line's getting tight. Heavy. Whoa, it's heavy.
This has lots of weight on it.
Yeah, let's see how this finishes.
Whoa, line's great.
They played it as tight as they could to the guard.
And look at it, just finished nice, just above the T-line.
Beautiful shot by Kevin Folk there. He is coming out to play today. Now with the ice curling so much, there's actually an opportunity where Darren can make a hit and roll to the inside off this rock, even with control weight.
Whoa. Close. Clean, yep. Whoa. Yeah. Clean. Whoa. Okay, Darren, good throw.
Good shot by Darren, nice controlled weight.
Were they hoping to move across the face of that rock a little bit and move towards center line?
Yeah, they were trying to get an inside roll there. Darren threw a little bit of a soft turn, so it was a little tough for Neil to read there as to when it was actually going to catch the curl, and it didn't really go. So we'll have to watch Kevin's rock here and see if it runs the same type of track or whether it does make that big roll or big move to curl in behind.
Kevin's definitely thrown a lot more weight than Darren just threw in some more rotation, so this one will run completely different than Darren's did.
Guys.
And the hope here that they save the shooter.
That's a good plan B.
Nice shot.
Good shot.
That nicely splits the rocks on either side of the rings, and even though there's a center guard there,
half a rock.
Neil's in a
No, I got a
situation where
2/3, Dan. Just roll in the middle.
he's really got to try and make a really good shot to try and bring that center guard back into play. Now Dennis had
and throw more weight. Yeah, well, yeah, up.
Dennis had a little trouble with this out turn earlier on in the game, so we'll see if he's gotten back on track.
Yeah, all the way.
You know he wasn't going to try and throw that one out. He wanted to be really clean on that release.
Come on, roll it hard, Darren. Come on. Okay, all right. Okay, done.
And hits it right on the nose. As we saw in the stat, 42% for Dennis Sutton, and we'll watch for him to step up his game.
Fine. Okay, just draw.
After that miss in the third end, he bottomed out at 35%.
So decision here for Jim Cotter. He can go and easily hit and stick on that shot, but because it is second shot stone, they're going to get Ken Maskowitz just to draw to the open side, try and split the rings, even them out on the T line.
Nice, good.
He's looking for a couple options here. He can corner freeze this, or he could come in behind it. So he's looking for two or three different options off this shot.
Wait for it.
I got it. The only goal is really to get it his second shot.
Yep, now. Yep.
Look at that thing dive over there.
We're actually trying to bury it behind that one.
Shotgun.
Good shot.
Nice shot.
It looks like they did. They actually managed to bury a corner of a rock and a foot behind it.
That is.
Second shot. You want to run that one and roll in?
I was going to say roll in off this.
Yeah, try and make the double and roll.
Yeah.
Great shot by Ken Maskowitz.
You could roll in the rings and make the double, right? You could make a cross double. So.
Here they're looking for the
Like
run
normal
back.
I think up.
Up, okay.
Same way you just threw.
Okay.
Trying to get the shooter to roll in off the guard is really what they're trying to accomplish here, and the double is a bonus.
Whoa, tip. Whoa.
Second
Right
shot
off,
for Dennis Sutton.
Yeah. Whoa. Going hard, Glenn. Going hard.
Yeah.
There goes one,
The
there
double
goes
and the
two,
roll.
and it just doesn't
Almost,
quite make
almost.
it.
Great shot by Dennis there, though.
That was a great shot. Most importantly, got the double and just missed getting his shooter on the rings.
I think we got to go in.
Yeah.
So this is going to force
Copy.
Jim Cotter to throw the in-turn come around that blue center
Just
guard.
copy.
Good job by the Dangerfield rink to bring these center guards back into play. Even though Cotter's playing the rock and he looks like he's in a control position, Neil does have those rocks in front of the rings he can use for a run back if he needs to. And really, Jim has no other choice but to come around these center guards now.
Line's good.
Copy.
Yep.
I gotta go.
Yep.
Hard, guys, hard.
Yep.
Really got to go for weight on this one.
Yeah, this one's really swinging.
Go, 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 go. Go, go, go,
Will they get a part of it? Well, yeah, they will.
Oh,
Good sweep.
great sweeping, but didn't get it there for first or second shot. It sits third
You
currently.
can play blue on yellow, but then he's got a split.
I think we tapped this.
Yeah.
I can straighten it or I can hit it to the middle.
So
So
here
here
we
it is.
watch the brushers.
Yeah, really
Are you
line.
doing?
Yeah, they're on it
Line's
fairly
good.
early.
Yep.
They know they need to
gotta
go,
go.
and there it is right there. They've turned it on, and they just pound
Yep.
this thing non-stop all the way down,
Hard, guys, hard.
and they just get it as a biter.
So two options here for Neil Dangerfield. He can either play the in-turn come around those two center guards, the one that was just thrown by Ken, or he can, so this is the first option,
Tap.
he can try and get it right into the top 4 foot that way, or more, he has chosen to go and try and tap his blue one into the 4 foot, and he'll leave his blue shooter up there for a second guard.
He could also come down and hit the shot rock at the back of the 12 foot there, but feels it's too risky right now, and really wants to come at it, put the pressure on Jim Cotter, and make him kind of chase him.
I'm actually a little surprised he's not playing the in-turn draw here. Or we haven't really seen the out-turn, especially an out-turn tap in this spot. We've seen the in-turn come around quite a few
Clean
times.
it. Tight
Wrong
line,
way, guys.
tight line.
I added some. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right off.
Close.
We heard Neil say he added some, meaning he added some extra weight.
Yep.
Hurry hard.
Yep. What again?
Way up to the sweepers.
Whoa.
Sweeping it for line here to try and keep it as straight as possible.
Nice shot.
Weight was perfect.
Clean sweep, guys.
Great shot by Neil there. Good call by Dennis on the line.
Nice shot.
Run back.
Jim Cotter has a couple options here. He can simply just draw to the top of the button, which is probably what he'll elect to do. Neil wanted to keep the line on there a little bit better, so he angled it to the button. Now Jim can come down, draw to the top of the button, and put the pressure back onto Neil to make either a run back or a freeze. By Neil raising that rock to the 4 foot really reduces the scoring area, which is what he was hoping to accomplish there.
Pretty much. Well, full forward, top button.
We run through and miss it kind of center line side. Do we come over the top of our other one and bump it in for a third shot maybe? Or does it go right over the top?
Might run through here. Let's play the run through.
Make him make a good one.
Yeah, make him make a good one.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Run through.
So after some conversation, Rick's decided to play the run back. He thinks he's in a good position to score 2 or 3 if he can get rid of this rock. And what will happen is it'll force Neil to try and make a perfect draw on his last one. So he's trying to hit this just a hair off the nose, run it back onto the rock to the 4 foot, and double it out.
What about the skip deciding to make that call back in the hack instead of coming down and taking another look at it? We saw that last night with Jeff Richard.
We did, and Jeff didn't make the shot. And I'm not saying that's why he didn't make the shot, but if you're just changing the broom position for the same shot, that's something different. But if you're actually changing the shot from a draw to a run back peel, then it might be worth just taking that 30 extra seconds, coming down to the house end, and just sort of resetting and putting the broom down where you feel it needs to go. So I'm not really sure about that call. I mean, Jim did have a couple opportunities or options to try and get his deuce. The in-turn draw, if he buries it, doesn't really leave Neil Dangerfield with a lot. By playing that run through now, he is setting, or actually an opportunity here for Neil either to set up a possible steal or really force Jim to draw to a very small scoring area for his one.
If we can get forfeit, a touch forfeit, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he played that as well, Melissa. The draw was not that difficult, and he could really put a lot of pressure on Neil, but that is Jim's bread and butter, and he normally makes that shot, so you know, a little bit difference between Ken Maskowicz and
touch more ice, Dennis.
And you know, Kevin and Rick, who he's played with for years, he may have been a little bit confident when they said play the run back. So still a lot of pressure on Neil. He needs to make this really good, or else he's going to give up a 2.
Clean it, tight line. Clean
Line's
it.
Good. Line's
Can't
good.
afford to take any guards or anything.
Whoa, man.
More.
Whoa. Line's great.
Really good line.
Line's great.
Yep.
It's out there, but it should swing in.
Where is it?
Dennis saying it has great line right now.
Don't lose it.
Really going to come down to weight more than anything.
Whoa.
We're going to go way back, Neil.
Whoa. Whoa.
He's got lots of weight. Tons of weight.
Ah, sorry, guys.
A little too much.
Are you a little greasy?
Juicy.
Yeah, it's a little too much weight there.
Kick it or one? It's like a bumper.
Sure. Yeah, let's go. Bumper?
Yeah.
So Jim Cotter electing to throw bumper weight on this shot, just hit and stick, hit and nose for a single point. There's no option there for the double, so he's just going to throw a simple bumper shot, hit and stick, maybe a little flop into the forefoot to seal the deal for a single point.
He does have to be careful with this. He can't afford to hit it on the high side and roll out at all. Neil's rock did stick at the top of the back of the forefoot there, so he does necessarily need to hit it right in the nose or get a little bit of an inside roll on this.
Final stone of the fourth end.
Yep. Yep.
Clean.
Play.
Yep.
Yep. Hard.
Right to it. Clean.
Yep, right to
Clean.
it.
Clean.
Moving good.
Nice throw by
Moving
Jim.
inside, and it'll score 1.
Nice shot.
So Jim Cotter takes his one, ties things up at 3 apiece after 4 ends here at the Canadian Direct Insurance BC Men's Curling Championship, and you're watching it on Shaw.
Scotty's, proud supporter of women's curling for 30 years.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Tim Hortons.
Mary Dobbin has been curling for 3 weeks. She has never really been accurate. But on the last rock of the last end of her Monday Night Women's League, she makes her first raise to the button on purpose. Yeah, that's right. She called it, she made it. And today, for this one moment, Mary Bullseye Dobbin feels like a pro. What will your great moment be?
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings.
WHL hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Don't miss the excitement when the Seattle Thunderbirds look to keep the playoff drive alive as they hit the I-5 North for a clash with the Vancouver Giants. Tune in Friday, February 18th, 7:30 Pacific, 8:30 Mountain for great junior hockey action. The Western Hockey League, building the world's finest talent. WHL hockey, only on Shaw.
And fans, stay tuned here on Shaw. It's our curling marathon as we will wind things up after the BC Championship with the Battle of the Kevins. Cooey versus Martin in the Alberta final. Jeff Stoughton threw earlier today to represent Manitoba.
Yep.
Last week, Pat Simmons advanced from Saskatchewan.
Can't hurt it.
The Brier once again shaping up to be an amazing field.
Can't hurt it. What? Shot.
Well, here we are, tied up, playing the fifth end. Bit of an interesting call. Melissa and I we were talking about that at the break. A little surprised Jim would play that run back, especially when the conversation they talked about trying to make Neil be forced to play a difficult shot. Well, that was the difficult shot. Throwing that run back was hard.
Line's great.
Maybe he feel confident to make it, but you know, it looked like the draw around to the top of the button or the top of the court would have been an easy shot to put the pressure on Neil.
And I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to make your opposition throw the hardest shots or the lower percentage shots. And that one of Jim's was very difficult to throw that run back.
Yep. A little bit. Okay.
So Rick Sawatsky was asked to put just a tight center guard, which he did. And Glenn makes no mistake drawing around it.
It really looks like the early end jitters are gone for these guys, and they've settled in and
lots of room. I should be close.
And ready for any other curling game right here.
Lots of room. We bumping?
Maybe a little bump.
Wait as long as you can. Wait as long as you can. Whoa.
A little different for the Dangerfield rink. They're normally not used to 2-minute breaks between ends. So we'll see if that has any impact when they can think about things.
Nice shot.
Great shot there by Rick.
So once again, looks like we're going to have some rocks in play here, Jody.
Yeah, Neil plays this way, whether he's playing in club curling or whether he's playing in playdowns. He just plays full out.
Team Dangerfield wants to thank everybody back at the Victoria Curling Club for all their support this week.
It's got to work a lot. Wait for it. It's going to be on the wrong side.
That one's taken a long time to come over. That was way out there. But it is finishing hard.
Got a boy.
Go, Glenn.
Nice shot.
Nice shot by Glenn there.
Low to mid for you, Kev. Okay. Low to mid 90s.
So Jim Cotter, his game plan, his end strategy for this particular end without the hammer is trying to force Neil Dangerfield to 1 point. So he's trying to clutter up the 4-foot area and really eliminate the amount of scoring area for Team Dangerfield.
Whoa.
Gotta move.
Clean it.
Tons of rocks right now in play there.
The Dangerfield rink has scored the most points this week. They scored 74 points overall. And the next closest was Richard with 66 points. So they did manage to have a lot of big ends where they're scoring 3 and 4s, and that really was a reason they were able to finish in second place overall and get into that 1-2 game. And it's ends like this,
go in this way?
being able to create opportunities and create potential scores that has really aided them in their victories. Okay. So here's a situation here where, again, they're really going after it. They're going to get lots of rocks in play.
75 and then 80.
And a half shot either way by Cotter could really put him in a difficult situation. You know, you see here that Neil's in a situation or a position where he's actually drawing a third rock into the rings, and all clustered around the 4-foot,
Top 8.
which will leave Cotter with that lone rock on the top of the 4 as his only protection.
Whoa. Easy. Lots of room. Lots of room. Whoa, Dan, whoa.
Let it walk.
It's got to work.
Close.
Yep. Come on. Wow. That's good. That's all right.
Nicely done.
That's all right.
Nothing sure cut in there. That's the quieter release and quieter rotation that Darren has on his rocks. The rocks will really finish at the end more than anybody else.
My net.
Yeah, they run straight for that little while, but when they bust really hard.
I think so, Kev. Maybe a couple feet more.
Yep.
2-3 feet.
So we see the ice that Jim Cotter's taking on just outside the house, just outside the ring. So a good 6 feet of curl here on this particular shot.
A bit more. 6, 7. A little bit. Line only.
Line's good.
It's all there.
Yeah. Line's good. Room, guys.
Whoa. Clean it there. All there.
Just waiting for this to catch the curl.
Whoa.
Starting to pull in from the wings.
Yep. Hard. Finish it. Hard, guys. Hard.
Good throw.
That's a beautiful shot by Kevin. It is wide open. You can see all of it. However, just barely.
And you hit this one. If you hit this
one on that one, and they both go. You run this yellow on the blue, I think they both go. No? But this blue one, we move this yellow rock, that one's helping us. Or we can come by and just tap it and roll it up there.
Well, I was going to say, I think you can...
You could hammer this at it. Peeling this guard isn't the end of the world. But if you make this, it's coming off that, it's going on that and rolling over there. Can't go anywhere else but into that crotch.
Well, but I mean, I'm just saying you could hit this.
It's going to knock
that's going to go there and take that out, right?
It's going to knock that rock up too. This is better. This one.
Not if you hit it thin. You hit it mostly out of that. You like that? Where do you want to hit the 7 rock?
Let me see if it is. Is it really? I guess so.
Where do you want to hit this one?
Well, we hit this one onto there or peel it.
Onto the blue.
Onto the 3 right there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. So you want to hit it just off nose.
It touches that, and both of those go.
Yeah, it certainly works. It does work. It's just off nose on this side.
Just off nose, yeah. Just off nose and catch the blue anywhere, I think.
Okay, what do you like? Gonna wait.
The difficulty about this shot is they're trying to play a run back of the yellow onto the blue and try to, so this yellow rock right here onto the edge of the blue.
They're both gone.
The blue spins into the yellow pocket and hopefully removes both yellow rocks.
Just off nose?
The challenge here is that you're going to lose a lot of momentum on the rock.
I think you got to throw up.
Okay. You hear they got to throw up. You're going to lose a lot of momentum as that blue rock comes off the other blue. So it's going to be difficult to remove both yellows from play. And it's also what you're going to leave if you make it perfect. They also talked about peeling is fine. So even if they just peeled the top guard, they're satisfied with that as well.
Okay, we got the peel.
And that looks like what they're going to do is just peel it.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
So nothing too dramatic out of that. Just a peel of the guard. Leaves a traffic jam in the rings all above tee line.
Just catch it this side, a little early.
Yeah.
About 2/3. About 2/3.
Okay.
Now this is where you get a little carry through.
Regular?
Regular?
Yeah.
If we had about an hour, I could explain the drag effect.
Burn.
Oh my God.
Try it in 30 seconds.
Basically, try to hit the yellow, just about 3/4 of the yellow rock, which will carry the blue onto the yellow, onto the other blue, and leave them sitting first, third, fourth, and fifth shot rock.
Or just hit the first one a little early and see what happens.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
The short version.
That's my short version, Jody.
A little from column A and a little from column B here.
Nice
just
shot.
like that.
That is a good shot. That gets rid of a lot of that blue influence in those rings.
So that really changes the
Yeah.
look of this end for sure for Team Dangerfield.
This or this?
Lots of opportunity here left
this
because
one.
of the amount of rocks in play. There's lots of opportunity here to try and score a deuce. Just need to move the rocks around.
Could hit it, just chunk this. Yeah, I could if I crotch, if I go.
No.
No? Why not just hit the 3 and get them both? No?
Okay. You said double. I want to make sure we're on the right rock here.
This one on that, no?
Okay, so it's a beak.
Just
nose
off
hit.
beak.
Nose hit, yeah.
Just trying to play
just like that same turn?
Trying to play a nose hit double here. The risk of this is that it's going to leave the rocks basically perfectly lined up.
Blast and get rid of the 2 on the 4-foot.
And Cotter will have a chance at throwing the double. So, but they feel they need to get those rocks off the 4-foot because they're both risky rocks. So again, just asking Dennis to throw a nose hit, run back double.
So it's more getting rid of the yellow than what you leave behind. That's the important thing here.
Yeah. On this one, I think so. We're on third stones here, and there's a lot of yellow there.
Now this is a place where Neil just threw it, ran pretty straight.
Whoa!
Moving a little off center line.
He's close. Nice shot.
There, that's a fantastic shot by Dennis Sutton.
Yeah, very nice shot.
Now they knew they were going to leave their blue ones exposed, and double opportunity here, of course, for Team Cotter. But that was a great shot by Dennis.
Same weight.
Needed to move those yellows off the 4-foot, and that's exactly what he did.
So now Ken Maskowicz just needs to do similar to what he just did, hit just a hair off the nose, run back and make the double.
Hit a hair left. Yep. Whoa, guys. Close. Yep.
Looks like he threw it pretty
Hit the double, but The blue hangs around.
It did hang around for second shot rock, Jim, you're right.
There's I think Ken knew out of his hand that he actually threw that a bit lighter than he wanted to, but I don't think that was communicated to Jim Cotter, who was on and off it as it came down.
Yeah, you can roll over this way.
But can I get them off?
No. No, that'll stick for sure.
Okay, we'll just stick around with 2 somewhere.
Hit about 2/3 and roll over there.
Okay.
Bit of a predicament because the top rock will probably jam on the blue if they try the double. So really just trying to remove shot rock and leave his rock sitting there somewhere.
Whoa! Clean.
Whoa, yep.
Yep.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Clean. Yeah. Gotta go.
And yellow sits 1.
Sorry, guys, I should have kept it going.
It's a really good shot by Dennis. That's exactly what they were trying to accomplish.
We could make the triple.
You don't want to kick that.
The triple was there.
They weren't going to be able to eliminate all the yellows, so really they were just trying to set it up
Well,
to assure they kept both their blues in their rings.
These are sitting. We outcount that one, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Regular?
Yeah. Good, Jim.
So Jim Cotter trying to remove second shot rock here by just running his yellow back onto the blue. Somebody just hit on the nose, and he should be sitting 3 after this shot.
Regular. Keep it up a bit.
Interesting how his end turned around, and a couple of big weight run backs and doubles really kind of
opened
it up a lot.
Okay.
Both of these skips curling 84% in this 3-3 game.
Big bird, big.
Jim Cotter with his first.
Clean. Yep. Whoa.
Jim's throwing this very firm.
Whoa.
Needs to wait for it.
There it was right on the nose.
Right.
That's perfect.
Perfectly thrown rock by Jim Cotter.
Perfect shot.
And yellow sits 3.
Does leave a pocket for Neil to hit and roll into.
Half a rock, I think. Yeah?
Half to a third, yeah. Third even, Neil.
Just trying to hit half to a third of this top rock and roll into the pocket here. Trying to find some protection behind those rocks in the top of the ring. So come down, hit a third of this yellow, and roll into the pocket and just nestle those rocks right in between.
Roll into that crotch.
Or the more colorful term for pocket, as we've heard on the ice, which I will not repeat in the broadcast booth.
Pocket sounds good.
Yeah, pocket sounds great.
It's a big shot here for Neil Dangerfield.
Now the concern in this spot is the rock over curling.
Hard, guys.
Hurry!
Come on! Come on! Hurry! Come on,
Really trying to keep it straight.
Oh boy.
Rolls in.
That works.
Nicely delivered.
Good, guys.
Very nice shot.
Lots of handle on that.
That was a good shot. He was actually, it looked like he might have come a little bit wide from where we're sitting and tried to get it going, and luckily he didn't get it going too much because it does curl so much there. So with the brushers, they swept it with the amount of weight, they kept it straight, and he got a perfect roll in behind. So very difficult position now for Team Cotter not to give up a deuce here.
You pick it. I guess.
Yeah, there he's got easy.
Yeah.
Now, if he did try the double, he couldn't hit it around the nose and try to get rid of all the rocks in the rings. The other option they're looking at is drawing around those 2 blue rocks and just getting a corner in behind.
Who's shot?
They are.
Sorry?
This one.
If we tuck around there, we're just going to line up a double, aren't we?
Right here.
If he plays the straight back double though, Jody, won't he roll his shooter and also maintain this yellow stone?
I don't think I like that.
And they'll be far apart from each other?
Well, he'll hit the yellow one the way by.
This one and possibly doubles them out for 3.
No, I know. We got to be back here, right?
Do you think we can get rid of both the blue ones?
They're a little further apart than I thought from the other end.
We smash it on the nose. I think it's.
We might.
No, 7 will go. So.
They both got to be spinning, eh?
Yeah.
Might be able to drill that. If we drilled it hair early with the out turn,
He should get a little bit of drag.
Might. What do you like?
They should both go. He can certainly throw it hard enough.
We just have to make sure we're not bringing that 3 into play.
Yeah, gotta go back here, right?
The risk is if they make the come around and they leave the run back double, then they could possibly give up 3. This is certainly the risk of this shot. With the nose hit, it's very difficult to give up 3. They could possibly give up 2, but 3 would almost be impossible. So interesting they're deciding to play this shot. It really is the only chance that Dangerfield can score more than 2, but they seem to be comfortable making this shot, so we'll see how it turns out.
I don't think Jim was
sure that double
absolutely certain.
I don't think so.
And we're just listening to Jim and Kevin talk. I don't think they were absolutely certain that the double goes.
Slide good here.
And the last thing you want to do, as you just mentioned, Jody, is give up 3. But this is a very precise shot. He needs to put this in an absolutely perfect position and try and avoid giving Dangerfield a double opportunity to get his 3.
Final shot of the 5th end for Jim Cotter. Neil Dangerfield with 1 to come.
Just trying to put this in the back of the 8th foot.
Looks like they need to go for line here. It's curling a ton.
Line's good.
Hard line.
Moving off center line now.
Hard line.
Line's good.
Line's great now. Line's great.
Right back. Right back. Yep.
Passed.
Great shot.
Good boy, Jim.
And got it deep. Great shot.
Perfect shot.
Line on the man, bump him a tiny bit. It's right here.
Oh, yeah.
Now they haven't even looked at this, but they can actually see all of the yellow rock, and they could play an out-turn nose hit double for 3. They haven't even looked at it though. They're just going to simply settle for 2, but they could run this yellow back onto the other yellow. And you know, if I was, obviously I'm not in the provincial final, but if I was in this spot, I would certainly look at that shot as a possible 3. It doesn't look that difficult.
Well, the ice is consistent throughout, so even if you go out into the wings, you can rely on that ice if you're throwing the out turn there.
This is certainly the safest shot. Just throw a heavy draw, push the rock back about 1.5 feet, 2 feet, and score your 2 points. At this point, being up by 2 after 5 would be a great position for the Dangerfield ring.
Neil Dangerfield looking for the deuce.
Gotta go.
Yep. Hard line.
Yeah.
Hurry line.
Come on.
Push it.
Push.
Push hard.
Come on. Right on.
Supers are really working hard on this one.
Right
They're burning a
on.
hole into the ice on this one. Oh, it wicks in and it rolls out the back.
Great weight on that, but it curled a ton.
And yellow will score 1 for the Cotter rink. So a steal of 1 for Cotter puts him up 4-3 at the break of the BC Men's Curling Championships from the Vernon Curling Club.
In January 2012, the most unique curling event in the world is coming to Langley, BC. The World Financial Group Continental Cup.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Duncan B. Lodge. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Best Western.
Scotty's, proud supporter of women's curling for 30 years.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings.
Championship Curling is on Shaw. Catch the final of the 2011 Boston Pizza Cup. From High River, Alberta, the best men's curlers of Alberta are set to battle it out with a spot in the Nationals on the line. Tune in Sunday, February 13th at 7:30 p.m. Mountain to see the men battle it out for the Provincial Curling Crown.
We're there to bring it home. Shaw TV, your local voice.
Welcome back to the final of the BC Men's Provincial Curling Championships. Jim Cotter's rink from Vernon up 4-3 through 5 ends on Neil Dangerfield's rink from Victoria. I'm your host, Joey Kenner. It's my pleasure to be joined alongside Tricia Tyrell, who's from Canadian Direct Insurance. That's the title sponsor for this year's Provincial Championships. You've been a title sponsor here for a few years now, and I know it's never a problem to come to an event like this for CDI, is it?
No, it's not. We're actually very proud to be associated with Curl BC and the provincial sponsor of the BC Men's Curling Championship, and to come back to Vernon 2 years in a row has been an absolute pleasure.
We should let everybody know as well that Canadian Direct Insurance is planning to be here for quite some time, aren't you?
Yeah, we're really happy. We've been the provincial sponsor for 3 years, and we've just renewed our contract for another 3 years, so it's great. It's a great organization. It's grassroots sport. Love them.
Now, you're not just helping out the event on a yearly basis, you're also giving back to some members of the curling community around British Columbia, and even a nice token of appreciation to one local curler here today.
Yeah, we sure did. Lisa Kylo was the grand prize winner of our $2,500 Best Buy prize, and we awarded that earlier today, and she was very happy. I'm sure she's going to go out and buy herself a new laptop or iPad or iPod or something, and she's very, very happy, so it's good to give back.
Tricia, great to have you here as the presenting sponsor, the title sponsor for the BC Championships. Try not to have too much fun here this afternoon.
Okay, thanks, Joey.
We've had a lot of fun here, guys, believe me. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you very much, Joey. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first 5 ends, as both these rinks have been trading rocks. Dangerfield opening up with 1 in the first.
Yeah, this was first. He made a really good run back double on his first rock to clear out the house and left an open draw for 1, and he made it nicely against 2.
And then Cotter gets the deuce in the second.
Yeah, miscue on Team Dangerfield in the second end. This is an open draw to the 4-foot for 2 points for Team Cotter in the second end.
Dangerfield replies with 2 of his own with the hammer in the third.
Just a great shot by Neil here. A quiet little come around tap for 2. Stuck the shooter in the 4-foot. Got back on track.
Cotter grabs 1 back in the 4th with the hammer.
Hard! Right to it.
This is Jim, open hit, nose hit against 2. Needed to just hit and stick in the 4-foot area. Didn't have room to roll and makes it perfect.
And a bit of a surprise here as Cotter steals 1. Dangerfield with a little too much curl and a little too much finish on this one.
Yeah, it looks like he threw it pretty good, maybe a little bit sort of into out, and didn't quite get back out to the broom. They swept it the whole way, no question, and they just needed to get by this guard at the top of the 12-foot to score 2. It just rubs it, and because he had a little extra weight, slid through the back. And that was set up by a sort of a saving shot by Jim Cotter. He had to draw around 2 rocks on the top of the 12 to set himself up and get back on track, and he did it. And it was a really, really exciting end, back and forth, and had a chance for 2, just didn't quite make it.
Jody, was the release by Neil Dangerfield just a little soft there?
Well, I think what happened based on that replay is he probably slid a little bit inside the broom and had to put it back at the end, and maybe didn't quite get all the way back to the broom, which when you get that sort of S motion, it really will get the rock curling a lot earlier than it normally would, and I think that's probably what happened there. They said they could have taken a little extra ice, which I think they probably could too. They didn't need to make it that close. They had lots of room. They know it's going to finish, but I think that was probably the factor there. What do you think, Melissa?
I totally agree with that. We saw Neil come out maybe a little bit tight, and he really tried to get it back. But as Jody mentioned, and I think we said it in last night's game as well, you don't need to get by the guard by a centimeter. You have lots of room with the way it finishes so hard. So give yourself a little bit of extra and let your sweepers have an opportunity to make the shot for you.
So even at this championship level, balance pushing out of the hack and that sort of consistency is still very, very important.
Yeah, tight line.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about nerves off the top, whether it's nerves or with the ice is running this fast and this much curl, you have to be very precise and very specific on your slide path, making sure that you are sliding in a straight line to the broom. And most importantly is that release. You don't want to be playing with it, especially on this ice. You want to be very precise and letting it go right at the stick. And it will curl on its own.
As we've seen on this ice, tremendous finish today.
Now that's a bit. That's going to turn out to be a big point for Jim Cotter. Rink,
should be all there though.
Taking the momentum back. They really have had a situation where Neil Dangerfield rink has stayed in there and stayed in there and stayed in there and managed to create a couple of good chances to score 2. And, you know, Jim's kind of fought back and fought back. Now, with that 1-point lead, he's going to feel really comfortable going into the 6th. Then he's in a more control position.
Normal.
2 good shots by Rick Sawatsky.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Second shot for Glenn Allen.
Clean.
Whoa. They're looking for the double here.
Close. No, 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 no. It's close.
They need it to finish.
Okay. It's blocked. Go, Glenn. Nice rock.
We got rid of 1.
No set.
That Yellowstone is of consequence above the tee line in the 8th.
Or do you want to throw down a bit? I'll throw right here.
Yeah. Most importantly, they moved it off the 4-foot. So they've got that shot if they need it. And it kept the corner guard up so they can use that as the end progresses.
So Kevin Folk just being asked to remove the blue stone, keep his shooter in play. The goal here for Team Cotter, of course, is try and force Team Dangerfield to a single point here in 6.
Shot.
Hits and sticks.
Couple options here for Dangerfield. They can hit and roll in behind the corner guard. They could actually make the double. So as long as they hit it on the high side somewhere, they're gonna get a pretty good result.
We've seen Darren make some fabulous hit and rolls already this game.
Yep.
Looking for another one for sure.
Yep. Yep. Come on. Right up, guys. Right up.
This one's curling
okay,
a whole bunch.
Throw it there. It's okay.
So the second
just rag
takeouts.
Okay. Was that reg last time or was it up?
Same weight, Jim.
Jim Cotter looking for a bit of a roll here. He wants to try and keep 2 rocks in the rings to force the Dangerfield rink to take 1.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
Kevin in out at that just a little bit. Wait to see if it'll come across.
Yeah, it would have been nice for that rock to roll into the rings, of course, and that gives Neil an opportunity here to try and get around that corner
Wait for
guard.
guys.
The guard's in a perfect position, exactly where he wants it.
Launch it down slow.
Now that rock in the back of the side of the 8-foot there actually works as a bit of a backing if they can just finish this rock in the top of the 8-foot corner and behind the guard.
White's there, I think.
The second, Darren Bowden with his
clean,
second
Glenn.
shot.
Clean.
Line only.
Off.
Darren's been throwing a lot of hits here, so we'll have to see if he can still has his draw weight.
Lots of room. Lots of room. Top 8, guys. Where are we?
It's T. Take it back. Play back.
Whoa. Yep. Hide it. Yep. Just Dennis. Yep. 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 A little more. Okay. That's all right.
So that had a bit
Okay,
more
Darren.
weight, obviously, than they were looking for, and it just slips to the back 8-foot, but it does
much you
get
see that?
almost,
Quarter.
yeah, almost fully buried. It's about a
Like
quarter peeking out.
hack up a bit.
What was it?
Hack plus.
First shot for Ken Maskowicz, whose numbers are a little down at 75% today.
Easy early. Easy early.
Yep. Clean. Whoa. Whoa.
They really want to roll this away a little bit, but they do want to stick in the rings.
Close up. Whoa. 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 Shot, Ken. Okay, good shot.
That's a nice shot, and exactly, Jody, by sticking in the rings, you take away, you put a little bit more pressure on Neil's team by having
I was going
two
to say, you like
yellow
the same
stones
shot
in
as
the
Darren,
house.
you want to just try this?
I like the roll.
Okay.
And that's the options there for Neil. You can either play the hit and roll behind the guard, or you can throw the exact same come around draw
Just
that
control.
Darren tried on his last one.
You know, Dennis Sutton has more experience as a curler, 42 years, than the age of his skip, who's 41 years old.
Where is it?
There's your fun fact of the day.
Whoa. Close.
Nothing.
Pop.
Yep.
Whoa.
Clean.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Here is to get a bit of a flop.
Roll it. Come on. Okay.
Really little on-off on that one. They weren't quite sure what it was going to do. It looked like it started to make a move and then run straight. Started to make a move, run straight.
Solid house.
And it managed to just, I think he threw a little more weight than Neil was expecting and just hit and stuck basically right there. So Ken Maskowicz has to come around and hit it right on the nose again. A little bit tighter behind the guard now, which makes it a little more entertaining.
Close to Nolan. It's good. Whoa, whoa then.
Maskowicz going after it.
Clean. Yep. Yep. Yeah!
Yeah! Oh, this one's taken off.
Wow.
Good, good.
It got by the guard. And it rolls in behind. That is a great shot by Ken Maskowicz. Even though it took off on them, the sweepers did a great job of just holding it in there with the line.
Yeah, they were definitely on and off it, and you could actually see that rock make this huge movement about 10 feet out from the hog line. And great brushing to hold it and get it by that guard.
It is exposed maybe about 15% to the center.
Percents now,
15% of it.
Well, I've been giving percent for the last 2 games.
Close. Clean it.
Whoa.
Just clean
Never know,
it.
that might catch on.
It might.
Coming down.
It's metric, you know.
Pull it.
That's right.
Yep. Guard down. Guard down. All the way over. All the way over.
Make it around the guard.
Yep.
And they hit that 15%, and they roll over to part of the forefoot back of the tee line.
Almost gets it fully buried. It is exposed.
Yeah, house. Okay.
Jim has a chance here to remove it and actually roll back the other way. This rock is behind the tee line, so Jim doesn't want to put this in a good position for Team Dangerfield to be able to freeze to if it gets in behind that guard.
Yeah, good point, Leslie. He wants to leave this in the open so that if any freeze attempts made, he can throw a blast and get rid of everything. So
kind of weight, Jim? House. Okay.
House weight, which is just sort of a control takeout weight. Your objective here is to try and hit and stick in the house. That's why they call it house weight.
First of 2 for Cotter.
Good house.
Yep. Yeah.
Has to be careful here to not jam it on the back.
Yeah, this one's curling a ton on him too.
Hard, boys. Hard. Lean on it. Go, go, go,
Moving
go.
to what? They'll get the blue, and they'll bounce off the back one and eliminate their own yellow at the back.
Head down a bit.
Yeah, not what they wanted to do there. They really wanted to keep that back one in. So he's just down. Weight was down just a little bit, which caused it to curl a little more than they were hoping. And now a good chance for Neil Dangerfield to hit and roll behind the guard and put a lot of pressure on Jim Cotter on his last rock.
Control weight, I think, guys. Try to roll Darren's way.
Neil's trying to hit this one and actually roll behind the yellow tight corner guard, kind of away from the forefoot, away from the center area.
Clean.
Easy, easy.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
Close.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Get it, curl.
Whoa.
Gonna move a little bit here.
Ah.
Yeah, he's just looks like he's gonna nose it, maybe roll the opposite way.
Didn't get the roll.
Now, it's a really touchy spot there, Jim. It seems that really weight sensitive. If you throw it up a little bit, it tends to run fairly straight. And if you just bring your weight down just a hair, it'll kind of go on you.
Do they not have issues with about the right side of the sheet in the page 1-2 game?
Yep.
Yeah, on the right-hand side, actually, the side where the stands are, it tended. It kind of started running a bit straight on them, and
right in around the 6th end, right?
Yeah, and it was really hard to read, and there was a few ends there that it's really straightened up, but it did get back on track later in the game. I find today that the ice is a little different than we saw last night, and I think that the skips are actually having a little bit harder time reading it as well. There is a fine line there, as Jody just mentioned, in terms of what kind of weight you throw. And we've heard a number of weights being thrown, regular, takeout, and house, normal. So it all depends on the kind of weight that you throw. Trying to roll behind that guard.
Comes in, he does get a good roll.
Really nice shot there.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
He's a little exposed, but not by much.
That's a teaser, Jim.
We could blanket.
I think there's half of the rock showing.
You see half the rock. I mean, you have to hit half the blanket anyway, right?
Yeah.
So Jim took the other turn there, which he felt more comfortable with, and made a really nice hit and roll. And it was just a question as to how much he was going to finish in the last couple of feet, and they just underswept it just a little bit.
So Neil Dangerfield actually threw the center on the one on his previous one, so he feels very comfortable that he can see part of that rock. He throws it regular. They need to hit half a rock to get the blank, and that's what he's going to attempt to do.
We've had points in every end, but now Dangerfield looking to blank the 6th.
Yep.
Yep. Whoa. Have a look. Yep.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep. Whoa. Right up.
Attaboy. Yeah. Sweep it out.
Nice throw by Neil there.
Nice shot.
And that gets the job done and leaves an open end, our very first open end of the afternoon in the 6th end, and it remains 4-3 in favor of Jim Cotter's Vernon rink over Neil Dangerfield of Victoria. You are watching the Canadian Direct Insurance BC Men's Curling Championship on Shaw.
In January 2012, the most unique curling event in the world is coming to Langley, BC. The World Financial Group Continental Cup.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Tim Hortons. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Flight Center, unbeatable. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Williams Moving and Storage. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings.
Now playing on Shaw Video On Demand.
Tell your sister I love you both.
The train is increasing in speed.
We're gonna be coming in too hot.
Just lost our brakes. Hey!
Close your eyes if you want it.
You got a real knack for inspiring confidence, you know that?
The roster is practically set for the Brier in London, Ontario, March 5th through 13th. Brad Gushu of Newfoundland will make an appearance. A few familiar names, a few not so familiar names on this list. And two familiar names coming up in the Alberta final at 6:30 Pacific, 7:30 Mountain. As it will be Kevin Cooey versus Kevin Martin.
We'll have to race to the airport so we can watch it.
That'll have to be our after game lounge, the airport, I would assume. I think I owe you a couple of rounds for making some miscalculations on some rocks in the semifinal. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. You bailed on us so early last night.
It's a tired boy.
Well, Rick Swatsky certainly picked up his game and picked up his draw weight. He's at 85% so far this game. Good performance.
Right on the button. Neil Dangerfield wasting no time throwing the corner guard.
Nice.
In the 7th end, time does not seem to be an issue for either of these sides, both just outside of 32 minutes remaining.
Couple of feet, guys. Yeah.
Come on. Thank you.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, Jim, you generally want to make sure you give yourself at least 7 minutes per end. And both these teams have basically 8 minutes per end to finish off the game here. The other thing too is, as long as you're going about the same pace as the other team, then you're going to be in good
pretty
shape.
good, guys.
Cruising
Should
along.
be all there though.
And neither side has used a timeout yet.
There certainly will be more discussion, I'm sure, as the game progresses along. Tight games as you go into the 8th, 9th, and 10th end certainly become a lot more complicated, and strategy becomes much more important.
Okay, good shot.
So Jim Cotter asking Rick just a 3 on that one. A 3 zone is just outside the rings.
Wait.
And it just slips into the rings into what they would call a number 4 zone.
So the run back is there.
Yeah, the double.
I think Glenn's had more doubles in this game than he's had all season.
I haven't seen this many doubles in lead position very often.
Right up, guys, right up. Right up.
Roll.
Right up.
One goes, the other hangs around right on T-line.
Now, even though that yellow one has hung around, it's just butting the edge of the forefoot, but he has left a blue stone in the control zone in the center, which Jim Cotter is not comfortable with and is going to ask Kevin Folk to remove it.
We saw how good Kevin Folk was last night in the semifinal, removing stuff like this.
Clean. Yep. Whoa, clean. Good shot.
No longer a problem.
Nice, he rolls into the rings there. So here we are again with Jim Cotter sitting 2 in the rings, which puts a little extra pressure on the Dangerfield team. And
control.
Neil's going to go after a shot rock here. Possibly try to hit around the nose, or maybe get a little roll inside even.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little space there to maybe get a flop behind that top yellow
stone. Hard. Come on. Come on, guys. Really hard. Come on. Come on. Whoa.
Got it by.
Great brushing.
That's it, guys. Way to hold it.
Thank you. And he did get a little inside flop on that, so the rock is 7/8 exposed, or 80%, Jim?
Yeah, I'd say 80%.
Throw a number at us.
That'd be 82.5%, actually.
Perfect.
Yep, good house. Clean.
Just clean.
Whoa, guys, whoa. Clean it.
Clean it. Whoa.
Off.
I really want this to stick in the rings, just looking to roll across. Hit it a little bit too thin, maybe.
And out it goes.
I'm actually surprised they swept that one as much as they did from where we're sitting right behind where Kevin threw. There was actually a ton of room on that, and they were pounding it 3/4 of the way down. And unfortunately, they lost the shooter.
Watch the downhill, guys.
So great opportunity here for Neil and his team. Darren being asked to throw the out turn come around that blue guard that was thrown earlier.
I heard a comment by Darren saying downhill. So I think the curlers feel that it's a little bit quicker going away from the glass than it is coming towards the glass.
I think that's what we noticed with our times as well.
Clean, just clean.
That's coming. Downhill. Downhill here. Let's go back.
Well, back eight's fine. Back eight's fine. Just back eight.
Easy.
Just back eight, Dan.
Looks like they'll try to bury this.
Throw it, Darren. A little too much ice, right?
Just
bump it out.
Still half exposed at the back of the 12-foot there.
Half. Just through.
A quick spot too.
In the third end, we saw a lot of rocks down this track, so they should know this path really well.
Close.
Now Squitch with his first.
Clean. Yep. Really hard. Yep. Yeah.
Well, that's starting to move
hard,
a bit.
Guys, gotta go.
It's really making a move. They really pound it to get it past the guard. They
Right down on top
nice
of
brushing. Didn't get by that guard by very much.
Yeah, luckily we have replays to see just how many sheets of paper could have fit in between the guard and that stone.
Looks like he threw it pretty well. It just took a bit of a jump early, which made it really close, and the sweepers did a great job. They're just really laying into it, pounding really hard.
Gotta go!
And it just gets by the guard.
Good. Great, sweet.
So now an opportunity for Dangerfield rink to come down and just freeze on top of this rock and try and produce a score of 2 or more.
Yeah, that rock just thrown by Kenny sitting behind the tee line.
Yeah.
Dennis has really picked up his game in the last few ends. Here he's up to 60%. Had a bit of a tough start, but really started to make some good shots here and put some extra pressure on Ken Maskowicz.
Yeah, he's been right on top of his game after that miss on his first shot in the third end.
Yes,
been no looking back since he reset. You were talking about that, Melissa.
Yeah, really nice shot by Dennis there. Nice weight. Great line. And Ken asked to do the same thing, just corner freeze this rock at the back of the forefoot. Ken curling 81% so far this game, having a really strong game at third.
It's close. Back 4. Line's good.
Line's good.
Still there. Clean roll.
Easy.
Little bump. Whoa, then.
Little bump. Got lots of curling to do.
Whoa. Let it work.
You hear the front end saying it has a ton of weight, too.
Yep.
Don't want to bounce off it if they can help it.
You can see the swing kicking in.
Oh, that's perfect. Nice shot.
Nice way, Kenny.
Great shot, great judgment.
Shot, Kenny. Thanks.
Same weight?
Yep.
I mean, if it goes by, it might.
You might be able to, if you get to the nose, you might be able to chap over a little.
Get to the nose, eh?
Push this back here.
Yeah.
But throw the same weight. Same weight.
Dennis being asked to throw the exact same shot that he threw on his first one, just a draw freeze.
What do you think?
A little more.
Yep, yeah, hard lines.
They want to move these rocks around a little bit, try and create some angles to score multiple points.
Just clean, guys. Whoa. Just clean.
Sutton didn't like the line on this as it came out of his hand, but now they're going to leave it to the sweepers.
Whoa, he's got to finish. He's got to finish. I'll get in.
That's fine.
That's all right.
That's a good shot.
Shot, Dennis.
Nice rock.
You've got a shot,
Yeah.
You want to move it? Kind of get this angle off a bit, eh?
Yeah. I mean, it's 5 seconds away tomorrow. We got to make sure our shooter's in a good spot.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So they're looking to come down and just either just freeze right on top of it or bump it a little bit. And if they can bump it a little bit, they're going to set up some good angles to help protect the rock they're throwing there. So they, if possible, just hit it just a hair off the nose and just move the rocks back a little bit behind the tee line.
If we can bump it a hair, and just change the angle a bit.
Wow, it's like he was listening to you, Jody.
Maybe they can hear us after all.
The angles are really important here for Jim Cotter. He doesn't want to set up any sort of double for Team Dangerfield so that they can score multiple points. Really trying to put the force on for one.
Easy then.
Bumping.
Easy then.
Whoa. Clean it. Bumping.
Whoa. Yep.
Bumping.
Yep.
Got a bump, Ken.
Yep. Yeah.
Bumping.
Whoa.
Still bumping.
Whoa.
Just a little bump.
Change the angle.
Whoa.
Good.
Shot.
Very nice shot there by Jim. That's exactly what he wanted to do. He just wanted to change the angles up a little bit and leave himself shot rock. Not a lot of options here for Neil.
Yellow, blue. It's at 3. Maybe.
You see it all, guys?
Yeah, all plus 2 inches.
Yeah, so we could actually get to the inside of it.
Yeah, but just going to pop it out here. We're not going to get
but then we're laying 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's true. Good
That's
point. Yeah.
So
It's a nice ball out here. Depends how much room to get by the guard.
I can see probably 2 inches between the guard and the yellow.
Yeah, it's there then.
Try to skinny it, little roll left.
So they're actually going to go out
just slightly off nose.
Pretty hard. Yeah.
with fairly good weight and try to hit this right in the nose.
We'll see in a minute.
Yeah.
And see if they can just kind of pop all the yellows out there. So he's going to come down here and try to hit it right on the nose and Hopefully the yellow will pop out that way. This other yellow will pop off the back blue. And they could be sitting 3 after he throws this shot if he makes it good.
Just a hair on the left side.
Flop it. Okay.
You just need to paper the blue guard that's sitting out front there. And as Glenn pointed out, there's about 2 inches between what he can see of the Yellowstone and what he can see of that blue corner guard.
Neil Dangerfield with his first stone.
Yeah! Come on! Come on!
And he's going to ask for a lot from those sweepers.
He's close.
All right, that works.
Sorry, guys.
They actually got by that guard by, I'd say, 3-4 inches. They had lots of room still to go, but if you look at the house right now, it's not a good situation for Team Cotter. They have one rock sitting lonely
yellow in there.
biting the button, but there is a lot of blue sitting around.
Just like the guard?
So they're going to have to really think this one through.
That's no, risky.
It's jamming on the back.
Want to call it time?
Sure, time.
They've called their first timeout. Probably a really good decision here. This is a big shot. And this is how Neil Dangerfield's rank has managed to be successful in this
I guess,
event, is set up for these big ends.
Going on to that one, right?
Yeah.
We put a guard right here. Guard right here.
You play that angle over the top, pulls our 3 pass.
Probably plays that.
Sorry?
Either plays that or he draws towards 1.
Yeah. I guess we have to just nibble the line there, kind of thing. Take away that little port.
So they're looking
at, there's not much of a
looking at the guard possibility here.
Much of a port there.
And force Neil to try and make a bit of a circus shot run back.
So there, I mean, getting a little here, he's got a double and make it 3. That's not an option. Can't go over here because he's got to cross the double.
The challenge is the guards are really difficult because it curls so much.
Go here.
You don't get it perfect.
Yeah.
Team Cotter just waiting for their coach to arrive. And their coach is Rick Folk, and here he comes now. He might have a few things to say.
Like the guard?
It's not jam on that one?
Yeah.
If it comes over the top of it, you might drag our 3 past that one.
Guard.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you think of a biter?
I don't think we need a biter, do we?
Tight.
No. Just tight.
I think parallel with that, we want to take away
a little higher than the
we want to take away the intern port as well, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So as Jody pointed out, it is very difficult to throw a guard on this ice the way it curls.
If you want.
But they have elected to throw the guard.
Oh, I don't mind the out.
And Rick was on board with exactly what they were thinking before he got there in their discussions.
Need any more than that.
That's good. No, that's
How
good.
tight do they want this one to the rings, Melissa?
I would say anywhere sort of, you don't want it biting, you don't want it too close that they could throw a double at that and try and get 2 or 3 points. You want it at least a foot out, I would say. They're trying to actually not only guard it, but they're also trying to take away or make his draw attempt, if he has to throw the draw to the button, more difficult.
They talked about throwing it right beside the blue rock. So Rick said you have to guard about, like you said, 2 feet out of the rings. There is a risk, though, when they throw this guard up, that they're going to leave the run back on the blue for possible 3 or 4. So, but this is obviously the safest shot to play for the Jim Cotter ring.
Right.
Jim Cotter looking for a guard about a foot out.
Clean early.
Yep, and the Brushers, as you heard Ken say, they need to clean this one early. Don't let the curl come into play too soon.
Whatever you got to do to cross center line.
Move or what? Line's good.
Got to cross center line. Yep, come on.
Easy. Tight.
And Jody, we'll see how much this moves.
Easy, clean.
Yep. Good. Whoa.
Really good, all on its own. All on its own right there.
Don't want it to overcurl. Nicely done.
Great shot by Jim.
It's a tough shot, and it's a great shot.
There, we still get 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
You chip it, we get 4 or 3.
Now they have 2 shots here. They can run the blue back and try and pick the yellow out, just like Dennis showed us right there. Or they could actually draw for 1 just to the button They do have the draw the button available, but
yeah, might as well, eh?
They've obviously talked about this while Jim was throwing his.
Right?
A couple of different options here.
Definite risk versus reward here. They can, you know, there's a little bit of risk giving up a steal of one, but a huge reward if he actually makes this one, gets rid of that yellow stone.
Yep.
And gets anywhere between 2, 3, and 4 points.
Yeah, he can actually hit a blue onto blue and score a possible 2 there. There is a chance he could just score 1 if he kind of hits it bad, but there's a lot of good things that can happen on this shot.
That's right.
Let's see if the odds play out well for Neil Dangerfield on this final shot.
Yeah! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
It's a little out there.
Wow.
And he leaves 1.
One yellow? Guess we're
So the second steal of the afternoon for Jim Cotter. He's up by 2, 5-3. To the end of the 7th end on the CDI BC Men's Curling Championship from Vernon.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Duncan B. Lodge. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Best Western.
Mary Dobbin has been curling for 3 weeks. She has never really been accurate. But on the last rock of the last end of her Monday Night Women's League, she makes her first raise to the button on purpose. Yeah, that's right. She called it, she made it. And today, for this one moment, Mary Bullseye Dobbin feels like a pro. What will your great moment be?
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings.
WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Don't miss the excitement when the Seattle Thunderbirds look to keep the playoff drive alive as they hit the I-5 north for a clash with the Vancouver Giants. Tune in Friday, February 18th, 7:30 Pacific, 8:30 Mountain for great junior hockey action. The Western Hockey League, building the world's finest talent. WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
The Dangerfield rink has had some chances for some big ends. This was a chance, and it was a gamble, and it didn't pay off.
Yeah, that was a big chance. They had an opportunity there for at least 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4, but they were on-off it the whole way. As you see Neil's reaction there, and they were really close, but unfortunately give up the steal of 1 to Team Cotter.
Jody, you were explaining to me during the break just how challenging that was to make that.
Yeah, from here it's like it's a run back onto a rock, but ultimately he could there's only about half the rock or less that he could hit to actually make it for 3. And even if it was a wide open shot and there was no guard factor, it was still a difficult shot that he was trying to make. And he threw it really close. It just needed to curl up a little bit more. They were right off it the whole way, and from our angle it was really starting to finish at the end. And you know, really good effort by Neil. Just unfortunate they didn't get the finish they were looking for. But you know, sometimes you see these guys on TV making these shots all the time, and you don't understand how difficult they really are.
Mike.
No, I like.
So the 4th end in a row for Neil Dangerfield to carry the hammer as we go into the 8th.
So great shot by Rick on his first one, puts it right on the button. We've seen this over the last couple of ends when Neil Dangerfield has hammer.
Top 8, guys. Be on its own.
Rick has found his draw weight most definitely and putting them in the perfect spot.
Maybe top 4.
Now it's interesting looking at the scoreboard of this game.
You're fine.
In the 1-2 game, Cotter scored a 2, gave up a 1, and gave up a couple steals in the 5th and 6th end.
Same thing.
So interestingly enough, here we are in the final, and it's almost a reversal of the scoreboard. Obviously, there were more points were scored at the beginning, but a couple back-to-back steals by Cotter this game has really kind of turned the tides.
I think. Normal.
And put them in a really good position moving to the last 3 ends.
And the Cotter rink was down in their percentages in that game. Dangerfield's rink way up in the percentages. This is flipped around team-wise. 86 for Team Cotter, 68 as a team for Team Dangerfield.
Good throw, Glenn.
Yeah, there is a difference between the numbers. The scoreboard isn't reflecting what the stats are for sure. It is only a 2-point difference right now, but we saw that Dennis struggled in the beginning of this game. He has really picked up his numbers throughout the last 3-4 ends in the numbers wise, but still a little bit of struggle. And because of the hard shots that Neil Dangerfield has to play, he's sitting right now only at 70% compared to Jim Cotter, who is at 89.
The tough thing too is Neil gets 0 for that.
That's right.
I mean, he missed that by an inch, and even in his rock in the 5th end, when he took that guard, you know, he was really close to making that shot, and he got a 0. So
Get a roll of the open side.
the statisticians are always a little tough on the skips.
Yeah, that's a textbook case of how the numbers can kind of lie a little bit.
Yeah, for those skips, those last shots, it's either 0 or
Why don't we try this roll behind?
I get rid of both our guards. Okay, all right. We can even go around. Let's go around then.
No, wow. If you can throw back 12, then chunk it and roll here.
Chunk it and roll. Leave him in play.
Okay.
So I'm a little surprised. Neil's played a very similar strategy in this end that he has the previous couple ends, feeling that he ended up with a chance to score 2. Now, you know, he made the double that he was hoping to, and there's a hit. So now he's looking at trying to create a little more opportunity, moving the rocks around, bumping things around, and trying to get some rocks down the tee line.
The second, Darren Bowden, when was asked about his highest achievement in curling, he says, today, you're looking at it.
Good answer.
Whoa.
So that one just had
Darren, that's fine.
Bit more weight than Darren wanted. He didn't want to tap that Yellowstone out. He wanted to move to behind the tee line so that they had some sort of garbage behind the tee line to help them later in the end. So this is an open hit for Kevin Folk.
Nice out of house. Whoa. It's clean. Clean.
Yep. Whoa. Rolled it away. Okay.
Routine stuff for Kevin Folk.
Yep.
That'll bite part of the 12.
Neil has a couple options here. He can come around both those rocks. So he's elected to come around the rock in the top of the 12-foot. And you can see where he's putting the broom. He's actually right on the sideboards. There's a good shot of it there. Yeah.
That's good.
And as a thrower sitting in the hack, that's you really have to think that through, trying to get that far
That's real good.
away from center line.
Come on.
This is a really tough shot that he's asked him to play, because it's going to come off that line so hard.
Yeah, it's starting to move right now.
Now, this is the first time that we've seen a shot like that going that far out, and Jody's right. I mean, you're actually going through a little bit of frost because you're going so far out. So it's a very difficult shot. You have to throw a little bit of extra weight. It's the 8th end, and we haven't seen that shot yet. And asking to have someone throw it in the 8th end, I'm not sure if that was the best call.
He comes behind that, it takes us 2 to get
Even on tournament ice, it's a bit of a challenge out there, isn't it?
Definitely. You just don't see that very often.
Go the in turn.
Okay.
What do you think, Ken?
Sure.
You like that side better?
A little more room there to work with.
Just tall full 8.
Okay.
Yeah. We keep it out that way, but it's not bad, right? If it's full.
Pretty low to mid-90s there, Ken.
They did consider playing the peel on the guard, but the issue is with the rock in the top of the 12-foot and just out, it's staggered guards, which can't be run back. So they've elected to switch and actually play a more offensive shot and play the draw around the corner guard.
This plane.
Line's good.
Again, going way out in the weeds here.
Line's good.
Just you guys. Just you.
Line's great.
Just you.
Should move well at the end here. Old finish.
There goes
That's great. Just two guys.
Yep. Got to be full 8, guys. Hard. Okay.
No worries, guys.
Nice shot by Ken Maskowicz there. They wanted it a little bit deeper, but it's certainly going to do the job. It takes away that corner guard.
That's almost a cute little shot. It's pretty thin, though.
Nose hit, I think.
Oh, it's right on it with the nose? Okay.
It's a hair on the outside, maybe. Well.
Do you have to hit it hard? Let's make sure it's
No. Actually, it's not. It's gonna hit probably high side of it and roll that way. I just go around the yellow.
So looking at a couple of options here, running the blue one.
I mean, the yellow's only in the 12-foot. If we roll 2 into the rings.
Okay.
And maybe,
trying to
we just
trying
have
to
control
flop
and maybe
over.
try and clip this and come onto that one.
Yeah.
That's not the bad shot. Or even
There are
throw
other
back
options,
ring.
Jody. They talked about the draw, the come around.
I like at least board.
Come around the outside, I think.
Back ring doesn't do anything with the yellow rock, so.
All right. So board. If we hit it and roll, that's good too. We got 2 rocks out front and maybe a raise.
That's what I'm thinking. So a little bing and roll.
I'm really impressed with Neil's.
The more it curls, the better, right?
What?
The more it curls, the better we make the thin double.
Yeah, we got to keep that rock in play, though.
Yeah. So board?
Good comment there by Darren. You want to keep both of your blue rocks in play, especially in an area in front of the yellow stones, so that you can use them as you go down the line.
As we mentioned, that 63% a deceptive number. I would think if you threw the first 3 ends out, Dennis Sutton would be in the 85 to 87%
Yeah,
range.
go hard. Go the other way.
Yeah, for sure, Jim, you're right.
Waiting for this one to break, but it just didn't break on him.
Roll it over.
Ah.
That's great, Dennis.
That's better.
That's good.
Nose hit.
So worked out not too bad. They kept their rocks in front of the rings. Jim Cotter looking for the nose hit to keep his rocks in the control zone.
See house hit.
You can almost feel the tension out there, can't you, Jim? And every rock means so much right now as we get into the last 3 ends of this game.
It's really started to build after that last steal in 7 for Cotter.
Off.
There's your nose hit.
All right.
And it leads an open center line.
Hang here, bud.
Yeah.
So Jim Cotter asked Ken Maskowicz for the nose on that one. It actually did roll a little bit behind the blue guard. So now you see that these 2 guards here are actually a bit staggered, which gives an opportunity for Dennis Sutton to actually come around, get one buried in the top 4 behind staggered guards. So it didn't actually end up in a great position for Team Cotter and Ken Maskowicz.
And Sutton will test his draw weight here.
Yeah.
At times he's been a bit of a challenge in this tournament.
Wait for it. Right off, Glenn.
Coming down.
Glenn, unless you...
Out into the weeds.
Got lots of lines
I
still.
hope it's going to finish
Coming nice
strong.
It should come off
a little
now.
bit.
As
Go,
long as he's
Glenn.
got the weight,
Go,
it'll
Darren, come
finish
on.
hard.
Finish it. Hard. Push it.
Sweet, guys. Okay.
It's in behind, but not by much.
What's your percentage over there, Jim? I can't quite see.
I would say at about 85% exposed, actually, if we look right behind here.
Probably got 3/4.
Good shot, though. They accomplished what they wanted. It's shot rock, and they will have to deal with it.
We got Kev?
Got 3/4. Nice to stay right there.
Yeah, exactly. House?
Yeah, pretty down house.
Okay.
They did miss the guard by quite a bit, so Jim should be able to get almost to the nose on this with quiet weight, and that's what he's hoping to do, to take away those guards.
Down house a bit. Yeah, we're trying to stay right there.
You just heard Jim reiterate that he wants to stay right there. He doesn't want to give Neil Dangerfield another opportunity to get in behind those 2 guards.
Does any sort of roll inside benefit him?
Not really. I mean, even though it looks good in the house, he still doesn't want to give that opportunity, because if he rolls, he's still going to be just top 8. And that will give Neil an opportunity to get to the top 4 where the scoring area is. So ideally, he wants to nose it right there, take away that side of the sheet, and Neil's going to have to look at somewhere else to draw.
Off. Clean. Clean. Clean.
Cotter will have to do it on its own. Rolls a little outside, gets the job done.
I like the roll. I probably roll here. It's terrible.
Yeah, I can't roll it there.
No.
Just roll behind the yellow.
Yeah.
The top one, but I mean, then
Hey, roll behind this one.
I can't get shot. Yeah. Maybe.
Or this one.
Yeah, it's probably better there, right?
Or we throw the draw again.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Just go in.
That's a pretty good shot by Jim there.
That's the problem.
The issue is if he tries to play the hit and roll, he may not be shot rock.
Hey, just got to roll here. Come here, we don't even get shot though. How about this roll?
That's what I was looking at. You can't see any of it, but it's still there.
But you just
it's still there.
off it.
Yeah. Throw
Or we
back
can go
12.
around this way.
But the trouble is, anything I hoop, this is just wired to go back on.
Oh, even if you're there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
Back 12, junk off that and roll.
Okay.
Is it timeout time yet?
Back 12.
Oh, they got lots of time. They've got 18 minutes. So
back 8, yeah. You got to hit a little scratch and then get in behind those two.
I actually don't think Team Dangerfield has a coach here with them this week, Jim. So even though the coaching, the timeout has changed now, so that there's a little bit of travel time. But once the coach reaches you, your clock actually starts.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it's the
so
same
it wouldn't really
position,
save them any time.
You're right there. You want, yeah. So here, I mean, you can throw a little bit of weight. Now you don't want to roll over here, yeah.
No, it's a straight draw. Throw that hole there, Dennis. Yeah. Same shot as you. A little more. A little more. Right there.
Now it's interesting that
through the hole.
Neil kind of slid down the ice debating the different shots he could play, and so in his mind he only decided that he was actually going to play the draw 3/4 of the way through the process, which is a little bit strange. So
they talked about the hit and roll the whole time that they were together down here in the end, or in the house, and now he has chosen to throw the draw.
Tight line.
Neil Dangerfield.
Line good.
Whoa, whoa.
First.
Line good.
Wow, it's too wide. It's got to curl big.
This one has a bit more weight on it by the looks of it than Dennis's does. It has a lot of curling to do.
It's got to walk.
Too much weight, eh?
This might push that yellow back.
Really needs to curl.
Way too much weight for that shot.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, now.
And I kind of agree with you, Jody. I'm not really sure if Neil was 100% committed to the shot he was going to throw as he was making his way down to the other end.
Well, that's why I was asking the question. Maybe a timeout could have helped them reset at that point, because there was some sort of debate on the ice about what they were going with.
Yeah, you're in the 8th end. You're down 2. You have hammer. The house is a little bit busy. It's not looking too good for you right now, and that was a big shot that you needed to spend time to have that conversation.
Yeah, it'll come off the shot.
You got to go by the yellow.
Yeah, the yellow one's the concern, right? So you're basically drawn. Yeah.
No question what Jim Cotter's playing here. He decided early to play the big come around draw to the full 4-foot. We know it curls in this spot. He could play an angle raise on the blue onto yellow to try and get to the button, but it would just leave it wide open.
Yep.
So that's why he's leaving those rocks the way they are. He's going to play this big wide curling turn, try to get to the side of the 4-foot, and really put the pressure on Neil.
Yeah, Team Cotter is in a very good position right now to force Neil to make a difficult shot for his single point here in 8.
Cotter 89% on 7 draw attempts this evening. Last shot for Cotter. One more to come from Dangerfield.
Okay, off then. Close up. Oh, just died. Roof. Yeah.
So that one's running through the frost itself, and it's
all you got.
Took a ton of weight off, and the brushers actually thought it was going to be back house when he first threw it, and it had to go through a ton of frost, and unfortunately doesn't even make the rings.
So basically the same weight and just
same. Where was the ice, Dennis? You were back on the tee line. Can you always stay on the tee line?
Because we were trying to go through by a rock here, and you had ice here, I believe. So about there.
Edge of the 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that rock there was Cotter's draw, got out into the thick stuff. Now Neil's got a chance. He's just going to angle raise that blue into the 4-foot for one. Fairly similar shot that he just threw, so he should be pretty comfortable with the weight and with the line. I think Jim Cotter got a little in-out on his draw, which kind of got it out into a fresh track, and you know, just places where the rocks never travel, and you know, there could be some debris out there or something like that, which caused it to slow down that way. Unfortunate, but Neil has a big chance here to angle raise for one.
Last rock of the 8th.
Same way. If he needs it.
Dangerfield trails by 2.
Whoa. Mine's good. Whoa. Whoa.
Close.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Hard.
Wait.
Good boy.
Get it. They'll raise it. And it'll count as 1.
Great shot. Nice pressure shot. Little overreaction there maybe by Dennis, but great call, great shot.
And finally, after having the hammer for 4 ends, Dangerfield scores 1. He trails 5-4 to Vernon's Jim Cotter. You are watching the CDI Men's Curling Championship, BC edition on Shaw.
In January 2012, the most unique curling event in the world is coming to Langley, BC. The World Financial Group Continental Cup.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Tim Hortons. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Williams Moving and Storage. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings.
Scotty's, proud supporter of women's curling for 30 years.
Championship Curling is on Shaw. Catch the final of the 2011 Boston Pizza Cup. From High River, Alberta, the best men's curlers of Alberta are set to battle it out with a spot in the Nationals on the line. Tune in Sunday, February 13th at 7:30 p.m. Mountain to see the men battle it out for the Provincial Curling Crown.
We're there to bring it home. Shaw TV, your local voice.
Well, Melissa, this is the way they draw it up in the textbooks, don't they, Coach?
Absolutely. He actually made the shot at his first one, unfortunately hitting the wrong stone into the rings, but Neil made no mistake on his last shot against 2 yellow counters and makes it absolutely perfect to get his single.
Okay, Glenn.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Shot, Neil.
So these are one of the situations where Team Cotter is up 1 with hammer going into 9.
My side.
They don't want to get anything too messed up in the house. Nice center guard by Team Dangerfield, so they're going to actually play to the wings.
This is the same situation Neil was in the 1-2 game, where they were down 1, or they were tied playing the 10th end, and they needed to steal for the win, and they did exactly that. This particular situation, they need to steal 1 now to tie it up, and then steal 1 and 10 again for the win. So comfortable with where they are. Of course, they'd be rather up, but Dennis said at the break that down 1 without playing the 9th end in the provincial final, I'll take it.
Considering where the level of expectation was for the Dangerfield rink coming into this, they have to be elated at this point.
Tankard.
They did burn up quite a bit of time on the clock. They only have 15 minutes to play these last 2 ends, which is not a big concern, but certainly if it gets complicated, they may have a little bit of pressure in the last, but so far so good.
Great sweeping, guys.
Atta boy, nice shot.
Pulls nicely around that guard.
Nice 2 guards by Glenn there, well spread out.
Open side again.
Just go the other open side.
So decision time here for Jim and his team. He can either go open side again, keep it as less complicated as possible, or he could try the split, which I believe he's trying to do now with Rick. And Rick made a couple of these, I believe, in the game last night.
Good hack.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
Maybe a little solid.
Off.
A little solid.
Off.
Trying to curl across the face of it.
That might be a little too strong.
Well, it just needs to stay in play, and that's exactly what he's done.
Just does hang around, yeah.
Shot, Rick.
Very nicely done by Rick. Actually works as a bit of a guard on the rock in the ring. So
full eight's great.
You can't get around this way, Neil.
Sorry?
You can't get around this way.
Yeah, right.
Guard's in the way.
Good point by Dennis. Because it curls so much and you have to wait so long, they're actually, the rock just thrown by Rick, it's in the way on the out turn come around on the center line, so they have to do the wide in turn to get around.
Just high, man. Leave it high.
Leave it really high. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, higher the better.
They called this light right out of his hands. So they're just gonna leave it to end up as another guard.
Okay, Darren. Okay. Whoopsie.
So I believe the peel man is stepping up here. Kevin Folk made a ton of peels last night.
Okay.
We'll be looking to make some here in the ninth.
He's hit about 3/4 of this rock. He can actually double off both center guards. Is what they're going for.
Kevin Folk trying to make 2 of them go away up front.
Come on. Come on.
1.
Oh, just brushed the back of it.
Okay.
Throw.
That was so close. Actually caught a little piece of it. And that's the difference of about 1/8 of an inch between making that and
get it right
not
out
making
there. We
it.
just need to get it in there somewhere.
Which, based upon the percentage, would be 2%. You see how the percentage thing works?
Wow, it's really coming together now.
Just took us a few ends to figure that one out, Jim. We're good to go now.
Better wait.
T-line, boys. Line's good. Line's real nice.
Just there.
Full 8, guys, at least. It's gonna work, though. Looks like plenty. Easy. Where is it, guys?
T-line, I think.
Okay. Back 4.
Oh, boy. Nice shot.
Darren, nice rock.
Even though it slipped behind to the back 4 foot, it's actually fully buried. So no question here for Jim Cotter and his team.
Yep. Clean.
Another peel by Kevin Folk.
Goes looking to peel, and away it goes.
A bit of a challenge for the Dangerfield rink here with that rock slipping behind the tee line like that. They will continue to throw the guards, but it's not in an ideal position. And eventually they'll probably end up having to put their rock in the top of the 8 foot and potentially leave a double for the Cotter rink to now possibly score 2.
Guard, right?
Get a guard.
Whoa, 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 whoa. It's got a curl.
Not big.
Yeah.
Really?
Go. Got to get to the middle. Get to the center line.
Starts to move now.
Finish it.
Yeah, get it right in the middle of the center line.
Worried about it moving enough.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Whoa, whoa,
Okay,
whoa.
great job, guys. Good sweep.
Nice shot.
Heel.
Just asking for the peel.
Clean. This clean.
Looks like a good one.
Good throw.
There it goes. The shooter does not stay.
Neil doesn't waste any time. Exactly what Jody just mentioned. He wants to throw another center guard up. And probably on his last one, he'll decide to make the move into the rings if it stays the way as it is right now.
This is a bit of a cat and mouse game. He'll throw this guard. Jim will probably peel it off again.
Let it work.
And then it'll be a question on Neil's first
it
rock,
hard,
whether they throw a guard or whether they throw it in the rings.
Yeah, let's finish it, yeah.
If they throw a guard, you might find that Jim Cotter will play the come around to
Come on, guys, got to touch center line.
To beat him in and set up for a possible 2.
I mean, Darren. What are you trying to say? I'm trying to say I got the
all
right
3
there.
sweepers on it. And it's right on the center line once again.
Throw it, Dad.
What do you think here, Ken?
Peel.
Yep. Peel?
Yep. Are you?
As we predicted, one more peel.
Yep.
Askewich with his final shot from the
clean
3rd position.
Yep. That's good. Good throws, Ken.
Nice look routine.
Nice shot. So Neil and Dennis probably discussed it without us actually hearing where that rock's going to go.
Will it be cat or will it be mouse?
Little less, Dennis. Middle of 12. Isn't that watchable?
So we had it?
Middle of 12 foot.
Oh, middle. Okay, sorry.
So one more guard.
I think so.
Now they could hit the yellow rock in the rings and possibly force Cotter to score 1 here and end up with Hammer and the last rock to score 2, but they've chosen the steal option. And they're really just dedicated to trying to steal a point.
Where is it? Clean it, clean it, clean it.
It'll work for them in the page 1-2 game.
We don't want to lose it, though. As long as it's in line, it's good. She's got to be in line. Yeah, it's going to curl. Where? Whoa.
Not in, guys. Not in if you can.
Ball, let it die. Let it die.
Stop.
Coming down.
Whoa. Line's great anyway.
Finish it.
Yep. A little bit. Whoa.
Line it up.
Whoa. Sweet, guys.
Good boy, Neil. Nice shot.
That's the way they drew it up.
Yeah.
Now Jim could play the option of playing the draw here and really eliminating the options for the Dangerfield rank, but he's chosen just to peel, forcing Neil to make the perfect draw and leaving himself probably, if everything plays out, leaving himself a double for 2.
And we know this is Jim's strength. He does like throwing the high hard one, so he will peel on his first. And like you said, Jody, probably have to make a double on his second.
Play.
Fair bit of smoke coming off that rock out of the hands of Jim Cotter.
Yeah, who says skips can't peel?
We're just not counting that one.
Well, try to, yeah. Yeah, but online is perfect.
I remember watching Jim
If
Cotter.
you split the rings, he's got to take 2. Let's just think about this for a sec. We got lots of time.
I know, but I've already thought about it.
He makes these all.
What do you think, Coach?
Split the rings? Come on, make a decision for once.
I was just going to go bite the 8 foot.
Because he's just going to make a double. Get 2 and that'd be 3 up. I don't know.
Well,
what if we just tap this back and sit through? No, 3's no good. That doesn't matter.
No, I mean.
So do you want to go here?
I'm thinking just right here.
Why don't we go here? So then if he tries to double, he might chunk his out or something, right? Maybe here. Like he's gonna. If we put it here, we're not.
If I put it right on center line, he's got to hit an angle on it when he plays the double.
I know. And we're 3 down. Okay, I'm just telling you. I think if we're here, what's he gonna do? What do you guys think?
We asked Rick.
I think we throw it somewhere here for second. Make him play something. He's not going to play a slash.
I'd like at least being second. I think it's either right here or the other is to hit that.
Well, there's no point hitting that. We just split the rings. Yeah. Even go here. Go here.
Well,
sit 2 here.
Here.
Right there, Neil.
The confusion lies is what their goal was.
He plays the double. He chunks his own
for
rock.
this end. Their goal was to try and steal 1.
That's right.
And if they throw it open rock,
well, he can play the double this way.
You got to play it really quiet, though. That's the only problem.
He loves this shot. You give him the shot, he's licking his chops to throw that.
It's got to be right here, like just nibbling.
Yeah.
They have 2 timeouts. I'm not sure why they don't call a timeout here.
That's right.
Yeah. Or you plunk him, give him 1.
Yeah. You give him 1. We go here. He's still going to make it. Don't you think? Or even here.
I don't mind going that way at least.
Sure.
Okay, so let's just throw it there then, but be a little less ice.
Okay, so there. And we'll just throw it in the top, like the 8 foot.
Top 8 foot, yeah.
Pass that one. And
yeah, okay.
They seem fairly convinced that
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Jim Cotter's going to throw a double, but I don't think he will.
Trying to get one here.
That's what I was thinking.
Because then why don't we just hit him? Because then you're leaving this wide open. Hey?
Here's a point. Well, if he's got the wide open hit anyways, may as well lie 3 in case he rolls out.
So the thought process here, as Jody mentioned, they were trying to steal from the get-go.
8 foot.
Now they're going to bring Neil's last one into the rings, try and put it in for second shot, and set up a little bit more of a challenging double or shot for Jim Cotter to get his one. They don't want to give up 3.
Well, we need 8 foot.
But they really don't want to give up 2 here either.
It's not bad.
So
Careful.
Don't lose it.
There was a lot of discussion of where to put this last rock.
Hard. It's got to get to the 8 foot.
Just
Dennis is worried about giving up a double for 2. Neil is trying to steal. They're on
different pages.
Conflicting pages here.
Easy, easy, easy.
I mean, all
there we go.
All Jim's going to do is just drop for 1.
Sweet, guys. Yeah, just I don't want to get going.
Yeah. It's like a house?
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, he does have to hit and stick right on the nose. He can't afford to roll out of the 4 foot, or he'll give him a steal of 1.
House hit.
However, if they would have put it in the top of the 8 foot, by the 12 foot, it would have given a double possibility. But
so hit and stick here for 1 for a single to go up 2 going into 10. I think that's where we're at. Jim?
Yes.
That was just a confusing conversation. I'm just not.
You wanted me to sort it out?
Yeah, if you could. I
think Jody described it best when he said that there were 2 guys out there at cross purposes and not on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, they played the whole end to steal and
needs a nose hit here.
Yeah, can't afford to roll anywhere.
Whoa. So it has to finish. It's hanging a little bit.
Whoa.
There it is.
Beautiful shot.
Just for 1.
Beautiful shot.
So Cotter gets 1 with the hammer. Dangerfield will get the hammer in 10, but he'll need 2 to force it to an extra end.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Duncan B. Lodge. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Best Western. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Capital One Rocks and Rings.
First-year curler Robert Stevens has really only mastered 1 weight. Really hard. But on the last rock of the last end of his Thursday night mixed league, he makes his first draw to the button on purpose. Yeah, that's right. He called it. He made it. And today, for this one moment, Robert Clutch Stevens feels like a pro. What will your great moment be?
Now playing on Shaw Video On Demand.
Well, with this one by Cotter, Team Dangerfield has got a bit of a job cut out for them in this 10th end, needing 2.
Great shots by Team Cotter, Jim Cotter. He had an open hit for a single point. Couldn't afford to roll anywhere. He knows it. Gets a single up 2 coming home. Very comfortable position for him to come home in 10.
There's a shot of the clocks. There's 8 minutes for the Dangerfield rink and 13 for the Cotter rink. So shouldn't be much of a factor for Neil's team, but they certainly have to keep it into consideration. They do need to score 2, which means they have to complicate things up a little bit. We'll just wait and see how it plays.
Close. You're there, go. Have a look, guys. Have a look. Clean it. Doesn't look heavy. Make it good. Yep.
You heard Rick say make it good. They want this one just in top 4, full 4. That's a perfect shot.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Ah.
T.
Glenn Allen not very happy with this one.
That's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign at all.
Sweepers falling off. They really need a guard in this situation. And
sorry, guys.
Looks like Glenn had a little adrenaline going on this one.
Go back, ring.
Right back.
This is where we talked from the very beginning of the show about keeping your emotions in check, especially 10th end of a provincial final. The winner going on to the Brier, and Glenn knows that's a big mistake.
Stuffy's had a really great game up to this point, but timely or untimely miss there.
Yep. Yep.
Hard. Well, when you need 2, your front end has to come through sometimes.
Most definitely.
Whoa, other way. Whoa. Whoa.
And they'll chip it out, and the shooter will remain back 12.
We don't mind sweeping.
Not ideal. They really wanted to get that rock out of the rings. It could come into play later on in the end as a rock that they could freeze to. But again, Glenn really needs a guard here.
Chance for redemption on his second shot.
What?
This one looks a little better.
Halfway would be nice.
Glenn Allen still shaking his head after the release of that shot because he's probably thinking about the first.
Yeah, you just saw Glenn's face. He knew he made a mistake there, but no mistake on the second one. And you notice that Neil Dangerfield has, where he's thrown this guard, there is that one that's stuck in the back 12-foot. And who knows if that'll come into play later in the end to help out Team Dangerfield try and manufacture a deuce here. No question what Kevin Folk's going to be throwing.
Clean.
Same stuff he's been throwing for the last couple days.
Darren being asked to throw another guard here, and Neil will continue to throw a couple of guards until it starts getting later in the end, and he'll eventually have to make some play into the house.
He just needs one nose hit.
One nose hit.
Halfway, guys, halfway. Where we can.
Easy, easy.
Whoa.
All right. Hard to feel it now.
Yep. Oh, get her.
Finally sits down about 1.5 feet outside the 12-foot. Darren Bowden.
Now we talked a lot about the Dangerfield rink, you know, getting into the final and the stress that they'll be feeling and stuff like that. No question, the Cotter rink has got to be starting to feel it as well. Certainly, Ken Maskowicz here, about to throw his next 2 rocks. He hasn't played. He's played off and on with these guys all year, and now he's been asked to show up in provincials and throw third and make a lot of shots. So, you know, there will be a lot of adrenaline running through his veins.
One more guard.
We'll see how he makes out throwing a couple peels.
So Neil actually thought that maybe he would get Darren to throw the corner guard, or sorry, the corner freeze on that one in the top 4-foot, but he has changed his mind and is asking for another guard, and I think that's the right call. You want to throw one more guard get Team Cotter to try and peel, and you never know if you're going to get that nose.
Ooh. Throw, Darren. Whoa, whoa. Okay, shot.
Nice shot. That's in a good spot.
Peel.
Makes the yellow ones just a little bit bigger when you're that close to the house.
First of 2 for third Ken Maskowicz.
Yep. Yep. Right to it, guys. Right to it. Right to it. Good throw, Kenny.
Nice throw by Ken.
That'll do it.
So now I would imagine that Neil will probably ask Dennis to throw the freeze on the top, one of the top of the 12-foot or top of the 4-foot. That rock at the back of the 12-foot will probably end up being his sort of his last chance at scoring 2. So that's why he's playing this one right now.
Yeah, I think it needs it. It needs it.
Line's great.
Top 12. Hard.
The line is on. Will the Brushers bring it in?
Right to the face.
How is she? Need some help?
He's up 12.
Yeah, they need help on this one. It's over curling and a little bit light. It's not going to end up in a horrible place, but
that's good.
They brought it as far as they could.
Throw down.
Ken still has to make it go away.
Now, based on the position of that rock, they've chosen to play the other turn here. Now, this turn has curled a little more than the center line side, so Ken will have to be a little bit careful on this one.
Clean. 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 Yep. Yep. Good. 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 Good throw.
Really perfect.
2 great throws by Ken here in the 10th. I think he's probably feeling a little bit relieved now that he's got those off his fingers.
Or bumping.
Dennis Sutton.
Oh, then whoa.
Dennis throws through this one nice and positive.
Whoa. Hip.
Looking for the freeze, but we heard the word bumping right away.
Yeah, bump's okay in this position.
Whoa. Whoa, let it curl.
Needs to curl a little more.
Whoa.
Right to the face.
Moving this one behind the tee line is not a bad thing.
Get in. That's nice.
Now, Jim Cotter's bread and butter, the big peel. I remember watching Jim practice in Kelowna with Pat Ryan one day, and he must have thrown 30 rocks in a row as hard as he could to master the big peel weight when he was sort of apprenticing under Pat Ryan, and so he certainly has maintained that consistency with his big weight hits, and I'm sure we'll see a little heat on this one.
I think a little heat.
He can throw it fairly hard on its own with a little adrenaline boost. Look for this one to come flying down here.
We won't see smoke. Maybe we'll see fire coming off this rock.
Clean. Clean.
As a brusher, you gotta love hearing clean. No mistake.
Oh, you got the back one, the back one.
A little bit of a bonus.
Well, it's come down to one big freeze for the Dangerfield rink. He needs to lock it on there. And you know what? Great week for Neil Dangerfield, and he's coming down to this one shot. He really needs to make this one good.
He's waited since 1997 to be in one of these, and I would think he should be back fairly soon.
What do you want me to throw?
80?
Okay. Oh, yeah, his last one was heavy.
So this is it. This is the big shot for Neil. He needs to put this in an absolute perfect
Gotta move it a
position.
bit. That's good.
Line's real good. Line's really good, guys.
Right there. Got room.
Line's really good. Just be on the
Really
button.
good line. Yeah. Yep.
Line's good.
All depends how much this thing moves.
Yeah, that hard.
Line's good. Whoa, if you can.
Just needs to curl up a little bit more.
Wow.
Curl. Gotta finish.
Wow. Curl. Pistol.
Sweet, guys.
Great shot. Wow, that's a pressure shot.
That's as good as he could make it, for sure. Wow, spectacular shot by Neil Dangerfield. Those are the shots he's been making all week.
Well, I bumped it by a half an inch. If it doesn't bump a half inch, it's well done on the center.
A half an inch. I'm not satisfied by a half an inch.
I don't know. I think it's not a bad
His first
result.
rock in the 10th end of the provincial final, and he's upset because he bumped it a half an inch.
Half an inch.
Talk about adjusting your expectations from the time you enter the final to being in the 10th end.
That's true. So, Jim Cotter, final stone here in 10. I think
It's a
again
difficult shot here. He really needs to hit about a quarter of a rock to get rid of this, or less.
Yeah, we're going to see some granite flying.
Hard! Yeah! Hard!
There it is.
And the blue goes out. And Jim Cotter, on his home ice, wins the BC Men's Curling Championship. Well, a great place for the Cotter rink to win the provincials and move on to the Brier. And Neil Dangerfield with a fantastic tournament
Got your
here.
heart, buddy. Got your heart, man. It's the bottom of my heart of you guys. Thank you.
Just watch this last shot as it comes down again. They brush it the whole way, screaming their heads off, and there it goes.
It is a spectacular game by Jim Cotter. He played absolutely incredible. 93% in the final. We said at the beginning that the Cotter rink really needed to come out and play hard and work hard, and you certainly saw a championship performance by them. By the way, one loss in the 1-2 game, undefeated in the round robin, and absolutely they played fantastic.
Jim Cotter with a 6-4 win over Neil Dangerfield at the CDI BC Men's Curling Championship on his home sheet in Vernon.
In January 2012, the most unique curling event in the world is coming to Langley, BC. The World Financial Group Continental Cup.
Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Canadian Direct Insurance. Say yes to savings. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Duncan B. Lodge. Championship Curling on Shaw Community TV is brought to you in part by Cal Tire, True Service, suppliers of Firestone Farm Tires, the leader in the field.
6 weeks ago, first-year curler Jonathan Chow could barely find his balance. But on the last rock of the last end of his Monday Night Men's League, he makes his first double takeout on purpose. Yeah, that's right. He called it. He made it. And today, for this one moment, Johnny the Hammer Chow feels like a pro. What will your great moment be?
WHL hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Don't miss the excitement when the Seattle Thunderbirds look to keep the playoff drive alive as they hit the I-5 north for a clash with the Vancouver Giants. Tune in Friday, February 18th, 7:30 Pacific, 8:30 Mountain for great junior hockey action. The Western Hockey League, building the world's finest talent. WHL hockey, only on Shaw.